Hey, you guys. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hey, Bree. Happy
Happy
New
New
Year,
Year.
Bree. Happy New Year, everybody in the chat. How are you?
Oh, I'm so happy to get rid of 2023.
Re- really?
It just wasn't the year I was hoping for, but for 2024, I'm really excited for it. I'm always a firm believer in starting a new chapter or closing a chapter and looking forward to the next. But New Year's is my favorite holiday, so I'm excited.
Cool, 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 cool. Hey, Jay.
Hey, how's it going, y'all?
Well, you sound good. You feeling a lot better?
Yes,
Okay,
feeling
good.
much better.
You know, Keisha gave us that digital virus, so.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you guys, she gave you guys the digital
Well,
virus. I was just the originator.
listen, it started down in Florida. Then she left Florida and came back home sick, and then the rest is history.
It's my fault. I
I
know.
know, girl, you so funny.
I know.
Uh,
The honey smile was the cure for me, so I'm feeling better already.
what was the cure for you?
Honey smile.
Oh Lord,
Oh my god.
here y'all go, boy, boy, boy.
No, here he go.
I can't take y'all nowhere. You know how they say that? I can't take y'all nowhere. Oh my goodness. So, listen, we got a lot to unpack tonight. I know this is not our usual Friday night chat. It is New Year's Eve. And I wanted to start a little bit early just in case some of you guys are doing some family celebrations, or maybe you're doing something else outside the house, but you still wanted to stop by and talk about soaps. So we are all here to talk about everything CBS soaps, both the Young and the Restless and the Bold and the Beautiful. And I actually was able to find storylines for each month of the year that went on. And you know what? When I looked at some of the stories, I was like, oh my God, I forgot about that.
Yeah, I had to really think of what really took place. I can really just focus on what happened the last half of the year, but there's like a few things that stick out. But you're right. There's a lot that actually happened on both shows.
Yes, it did. And I'm telling you, I'm gonna, because I have an actual banner for the 12 different storylines for each soap. Now, this is on, I couldn't put it all together on one banner. So, this is just half of Young and the Restless and half of The Bold and the Beautiful that's on the screen. That's not everything from either show. Because I couldn't, actually, when I sat down and I thought about it, I'm like, okay, what happened this year? And then I'm like, nah, I need some help. So I had to do some digging and go all the way back to January and try to figure out everything that's happened and transpired on this soap in the last 12 months. So, and we're still going to do the best of, the worst of, all of that good stuff, the different categories that you, me, Jay, Keish, we all kind of talked about and threw out there over the past couple of days. So, yeah, we're going to have a little bit of fun, and yeah, we'll go from there. Y'all ready?
Let's
Yeah.
get it.
I know Keish said she was gonna try to make it. I think she's still on the with her family, but I thought she was gonna pop in. She'll probably pop in a little bit. So we'll see. Alrighty. So we're gonna first, of course, like we usually do, start off with the Young and the Restless for 2023. And I just shifted because I know there's a little bit of delay on the YouTube side. But the new band, the Young and the Restless, different storylines will be popping up shortly. So just give it a sec. If it hasn't already, maybe my phone is behind. I don't know. Okay, here it comes. All right. So we started off the whole new year, according to what I read. It's this whole storyline with Devon and Abby. And the whole cheating thing, I actually thought that happened like
Last year.
when I looked it up, it was in January. So it must have, we got a little bit of a rollover, but that's them two sleeping together on the floor, on the stairs, on the wall, on the couch. Amanda coming in,
The
Chance coming.
piano,
What'd you say, Jay?
the piano.
The piano. They were all over that penthouse. I'm surprised Lily, she moved in there. Boy, if those walls could talk.
I hope she bleached the place before she moved
I
in.
know. You're so crazy. But that was one of the storylines, of course, where Chance and Amanda walked in on them. That was at the beginning of the year. We also had in February, um, leading into March, which is this whole situation of um, Phyllis being obsessed with Diane still, which led up to the 50th year anniversary in March, where at the top picture up there you see Phyllis on a stretcher.
Mm-hmm.
And Jeremy Stark, and she faking her death, and all of this kind of stuff. I think that was the worst thing ever because of the fact that her kids were struggling with this. Out of anybody else in town, her kids were struggling with this. You know what I'm saying? So, um, then of course it led into because of what happened, Phyllis coming back, Summer keeping that secret. It led into that whole thing where Kyle ended up with Summer. I mean, with Audra.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so all of the storylines for the Young and the Restless up here. Let me ask you guys, out of all of the storylines that happened this year, what was your favorite?
My favorite for Y&R.
If you need a little
I
bit of help, it's on the screen.
uh there was a lot that happened, but I think my favorite part that actually happened was really this Jordan storyline. I feel like towards the beginning of the year, I feel like for me personally, I was kind of like worn down to death by Phyllis wanting to go after Diane. And then the stuff that happened with her faking her unaliving.
Mm-hmm.
And it just felt like things were kind of stifling. But when Jordan came as a character, as someone who's like a fresh, new, fun perspective, that was really the best highlight, one of the best highlights for Y&R, in my opinion. But what do you guys think?
Okay, what about you, Jay?
Actually, for me, as I'm thinking about it, I actually have to agree because there's a couple of storylines that come to mind, but the other ones that I'm thinking about are actually things that will fit in other categories that we'll go through.
Mm-hmm.
So when I'm thinking about what storyline was the most interesting, most fun, I think it was the Jordan storyline. I forget the actress's name, but we know her from
Shannon Z.
Jordan, the one who plays Jordan.
Yeah,
Shannon
Colleen
Z.
Zink. Yeah.
Yes,
Oh, Colin Z.
um,
I keep seeing Shannon.
Colin Zink, right? Yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
we know her from As the World Turns, where she played a great character on there too. She's just a really good actress, and the way she's came in with this Jordan character, she's just been really entertaining. And then I do like the fact that Victoria's daughter is alive out of this. She obviously has some struggles that she's gonna have to go through, but it's nice seeing that she has her daughter back that she thought had passed. So overall, I think that's been the most intriguing storyline because I think a lot can come from it even after Jordan being finally subdued by the police. I think there's going to be a lot of after effects from it as well.
Okay. I would say my favorite storyline this particular year to me was this whole thing, this dynamic with Tucker. Tucker was interwoven in different storylines. He was always a part of the Chancellor Winters thing. He was part of the storyline with the Abbotts, and then he had Audra over at, of course, she was trying to do some stuff originally when that company was sold off, McCall Unlimited, to Adam, and she was over at Newman Media. He had so many, it was like he was, had attachments in all of the different storylines that was going on this year, which that's why I was hoping, or I am hoping, that he wins an Emmy in 2024. I really hope that for him.
I would riot if he does not get nominated. I would riot if some people for 2024 don't get nominated on either show.
Mm-hmm.
Because he definitely should. He was everywhere. All we could do was talk about Tucker.
I mean, and he's just so darn funny. He can make a whole scene. He can play the emotion. He can play the anger, and then he can be a comedian all at the same time.
Yeah, I think it should be an automatic lock that he gets a nomination. That shouldn't even be a question. And like you said, he really does have great range. And it's interesting because now they're doing this thing with Ashley and him where it's like they have their own perspective about what happened out overseas. Where when she flashes back to it, she has so much fear at him when he was yelling and throwing stuff, and then he sees it completely different. Like he wasn't as volatile as she sees him in that scene, but he plays. He, like you said, he can play it for laughs, and then he can play really angry and intimidating. One minute it's like he can really do it all as an actor.
Gotcha. Now, what was your worst storyline this year?
I was torn between two. The worst, well, my two is going to be Phyllis's faking her unaliving.
Mm-hmm.
And then the second would be Sally's pregnancy.
Do tell.
I think the one with Phyllis, I think is obvious, like you were saying. I don't like the way she made her kids grieve. But Sally's pregnancy, this was just a hot mess. Just the fact that she went back, the way she went back and forth between these guys, how she got pregnant and was sleeping with one man and pregnant with another man's baby. And the thing is, this is very common on soaps. I just wasn't really happy with this particular rollout. And for the most part, we never really saw any growth between Sally and Nick for us to really care as an audience. I mean, we know she went from hotel to hotel. And then towards the end of before she lost her baby, like towards the end, like then she started to say like, I love you, or I have feelings for you, or I want to try to move forward. A whole almost year had passed. And now this. So I just was not happy with this whole rollout with her pregnancy.
Okay, what about for you, Jay?
I had to go once again right on cue. I think those two were the two worst. The whole Phyllis situation, what she put her kids through, the obsession with Diane that led her to doing all of that. It was just too much. It was too extra with her and her obsession with Diane. And then, faking her unaliving. But I think the Adam, Sally, Nick triangle story was the worst. I think it was completely unnecessary. There was no chemistry between Sally and Nick at all. They had him go after her like not even 2 weeks after she broke up with his brother. And this is not coming off too long ago where his brother saved his daughter's life. Even if he doesn't get along with Adam, where's the respect? Like, this man saved your daughter's life not too long ago, and you're going after his girlfriend when the breakup is like fresh. So I just thought that storyline was horrible, and it was my least favorite one.
Mine was the whole thing with Cameron Kirsten. Now, I mean, granted, he's a great actor. He's also the husband of Diane, the lady that plays Diane Jenkins, or should I say Diane Abbott now. The thing is that they brought him back for 2 weeks? And I mean, just the whole plot line to kidnap Faith, and then, I guess that's how she was able to get the company, which we hardly ever hear anything about that he left behind. And
Uh-huh.
then just that whole stupid idea of him digging a tunnel up under her house into Noah's closet on, Victor's property, and nobody heard anything. That just doesn't make any sense to me. So, I mean, I don't know why that they, what was the bridge there to bring him on, unless you just was just bringing people on from the past, which is what it looks like this year.
Because it
But
was the 50th anniversary, right? So they was
right.
kind of bringing things back.
Yeah, so they was kind of bringing different characters back and stuff like that, but I'm like, oh, okay, you know, that didn't really click. And then I'm kind of on the fence, even though I like Jill and Mamie, but that plot line didn't make sense because of the fact of what she only got a slither of a share in that company. What big change is she's going to make besides talking Lily and Devon into just bringing Nate back? And then they making it like, Jill is, I got to get you out of here. But she can't do anything anyway. She don't have that much of a stake in the company. So I didn't, I thought it was interesting to an extent, but,
Not to be invested in.
right.
Yeah. I thought of an honorable mention
Hmm.
as you were speaking. Victor faking his illness was
Mm-hmm.
also another worse storyline this year because it was the musical chairs that it affected nothing. We still don't know who's in these positions now. And the way he went about it was really disgusting. It's really no different from what Phyllis did.
Mm-hmm.
Except his kids are quick to forgive him. Um, I just wasn't a fan of that, so that's an honorable mention for myself.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Now, we're going to move into some of these categories. What do you think was the best coupling this year?
The best just coupling. Are we talking about like them being a couple, or like just like hookups, or
The one that this year just stood out the most, whether they were already together and the storyline just took them in a whole nother dimension, or if it's a new couple, which one?
I feel like the best for me, I would actually kind of I'll give it to Kyle and Audra in this case.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
I feel like they like this weird back and forth between each other. He likes being like put out like a dog on the yard, and he likes the fact that she's loose in the goose. So they're a perfect fitting. I think in the beginning they had like some really hot scenes together, and the actors do have pretty good chemistry. So I would say that that's the best coupling so far for this year.
Okay, what about you, Jay?
For me, it's gonna be Devon and Abby.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
I know it's been, as far as the romantic side of things, it's kind of been dying down. Like they haven't really had any scenes. But this is a couple that were friends for a really long time. I always liked them
Mm-hmm.
together and always wanted to see them give it a shot. So, and the way it did happen was a really great, a really great storyline with the affair, Chance and Hillary, not Hillary, what's the girl's name?
Amanda.
Amanda.
Amanda, yes. Chance and Amanda actually walking in on them. The actual hookup scene was one of the hottest of the year. Probably, I think, the hottest hookup on YNR of the year. So I would probably say that's been my favorite coupling.
Yeah, and Audra was the one that brought the heat in that situation, though, with those scenes. So, you know what I mean? You talking about with I'm thinking about Audra. You talking about with Devon, that whole thing to kick off the new year, which when they were all over that penthouse, was
Mm-hmm.
off the chain.
Yeah.
They set it
And
off with that
they
one.
haven't really had a scene like that since, but
Hmm.
it definitely set the tone, to start off the year.
Yeah, I honestly agree with Jenny Smith in the comments. I was hoping for Tucker and Ashley originally they started out pretty good. Now I know Ashley was playing games, but when she
Uh-huh.
finally leaned into the relationship, they were really good together until, of course, the writers blew it up.
Uh-huh.
But I would say them. Yep. Yeah. What do you think about that, Bree? Yeah.
As for uh, uh,
Nah. You're not feeling
it's
it.
hard. I would put them as my worst couple, to be
Really?
honest.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Oh, I can't really call them toxic. They're just like you were saying. It had a lot of high hopes, especially with that whole cat and mouse thing. And I
Mm-hmm.
thought maybe after they got married, Ashley would kind of come to her senses. But it was just a lot of weird writing and having them go to Paris, and then everything completely change, a whole dynamic change. And then the little bit that we saw towards the end of last week with her, I guess either one of their memory issues, it's
Mm-hmm. They
like what are
blew it
you guys
up.
doing?
Yep. You're absolutely right. They blew that sky high. Now, worst coupling. Now I know you kind of touched into Tucker and Ashley as being your worst couple. Were there any others?
Um, Nick and Sally.
Oh,
Yes, that was me too.
absolutely.
Uh-huh.
This was this. I don't want to say it should have never happened. I just wish the rollout was just different. I would have loved for Sally to just torture Summer by sleeping with her father. I really thought that was the direction they were really going to go in with this. And then they looped Adam into it. It's like, okay, so that'd be a
Mm-hmm.
fun little
Mm-hmm.
love triangle. And then we got Nick was just his actions since being with her had made him more unattractive. And some episodes I don't want to say unwatchable, but just like it's like, come on, it's get like, why are you mad? It's like you would think being with a fiery redhead, you'd be like more happy, more high energy, you can breathe a little bit, but yeah, definitely them too.
What you got, Jay?
Yeah, same exact answer. Nick and Sally was absolutely the worst coupling of the year. It was just horrible. And I'm gonna take it a step further. I know Bree just said that she wouldn't say she didn't wish it happened. No, I wish it never happened. That relationship was horrible from start to end. There was simping, there was cuckolding. This man walked into the hotel room right after his brother slept with her, and just casually walking into the it was horrible. And then you had a baby and a miscarriage. That thing was just bad all the way around. So the Nick and Sally definitely was the worst coupling of the year, no question.
My worst coupling was Chance and Sharon. I don't even know why they put them together in the first place. Now, I mean, it took me to actually have to edit that scene to make it look good on Instagram.
Miracle work.
Putting the music and slow it down and all of that and change the coloring and the fonts and whatever I needed to do to actually make that scene look sexy. It was just not. And then they went on a date, and then we didn't see them together no more. And then when Phyllis went to jail, that's how they end up sleeping in the back room. And then there's nothing been established between those two except the fact they look like they just kicking it. You know what I'm saying? And of course, now
Right.
we got summer coming into this thing as we go into 2024. To me, they were the worst. I just, they shouldn't have never put them two together at all. Now, I agree with you on the Adam and Sally tip because we've talked about that all year. She was pregnant and Nick was still sleeping with her with your brother's baby in her stomach. That was just literally disgusting.
Um,
It,
I
it
will.
Go ahead, Jay.
I was just going to add on to what you said. The only reason why I didn't have, I have Sharon and Chance as the most boring. Like I
Mm.
would call them the most boring coupling. The
Mm.
only reason why I don't have them as the worst because it made sense in some ways. Like he was Ray's partner. and she lost him, so you could see that being a bonding moment for them and stuff like that. So there were things that could have been used to show the relationship building, but they just didn't have anything between them. There was no fire, there was no chemistry. That boring sex scene at the coffee house was just horrible. Like you said, I know you were stressing, trying to edit that because there was nothing to work with. So I know you were struggling at that editing desk because there was nothing there. So props to you for making something out of it. But yeah, so they were definitely boring. And then the Adam and Sally situation I had as worse just because there was so much, like you said, just so much horrible stuff in there. Nick sleeping with her when she's pregnant with his brother's baby. She loses the baby. There's, Nick being a simp. All of it was just a bad combination over there.
Yep. Gotcha. Now, we had some missed opportunities this year. So, who would you say or what couple should have been together in 2023? That's not to say that they wouldn't be in 2024, but who should have been together in 2023?
For 2023, Adam and Sally should have been together.
Girl,
They should have
okay.
been
I
able
was
to.
over them.
But I would have rather them been together for
Mhm.
that whole year, and they
Mhm.
have went through that pregnancy storyline together
Mhm.
versus her with Nick. It just, that whole triangle just made no sense.
Mhm.
But I would have been. I feel the storyline would have turned out differently if they just kept those two
Mhm.
together.
Mhm. What you got, Jay?
I'm going to go out of the box a little bit, and I actually wished Phyllis and Jeremy Stark
Yep.
would have hooked up. I wish they would have made that actually work and kind of kept them as a devious duo, as opposed to what they did do and just had her unalive him and all of that. Because there was some really good potential with her and Jeremy Stark.
Yep. I honestly, of course, we should have had Summer and Chance a long time ago. But I agree with you on that with Tucker. I mean Tucker, Lord, Jeremy Stark and Phyllis. We could have. I wish we had Tucker and Phyllis. I wish
Which
we
we might
had.
be getting.
Huh?
Which we might be getting now.
Right. Exactly. I also wish that they could have kind of tested the waters with Audra and Adam.
Mm-hmm.
Because we had a couple of Kim test moments between them two, a little bit, and nothing ever came of it. And I'm like, oh shoot, because I know those two would have been absolutely hot together.
They definitely would have.
So, and I mean, who knows further down the road, maybe they'll put them in a situation, but right now, he got his nose wide open after Sally. But I just think that should have been, that was a missed opportunity in itself right there. Y'all see anybody else? Nope.
You know what? And I know we kind of touched on this a little bit, but instead of, they could have had Nick walk away from the Sally Adam thing a little bit sooner, and I feel like they could have done something with Nick and Elena.
Yeah, and I know that Keish wanted Nick and Lily together.
That's right. She did.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Now,
Maybe 2024. I think that will happen.
Yep. I hope so. We'll see. Aditha Lee said Nate and Audra is a missed opportunity.
That was one because she was telling Nate she wanted him, and basically.
Yeah, they were flirting with each other. They went on a whole date. Remember?
She was interested.
Yeah, they missed that one too. So, yeah, it's some stuff you're like, dang, why didn't they write it this way? I honestly think that there were quite a few missed opportunities that would have made the soap extra, extra hot this year. But, hey, maybe we'll get some of them in 24, especially this whole thing with Tucker and Phyllis.
Yeah, and we may get the Nate and Audra situation because depending on how long Cole stays around, Victoria and him may reignite something. I can't wait to see because we haven't had really any interaction between Nate and Victoria since Dave came back. So that thing hasn't really ended. officially yet.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to know what they're gonna do with those two in particular, and then if they do have her move on from him because she needs to focus on her daughter and maybe her and Cole reignite something. Nate being a free agent out there, there's a lot of potential things, and I think Audra is going to be one of the big ones that they can do as far as pairings.
Gotcha. Now I know you kind of touched on this, Jay, but I don't know. I guess you can make this your boring couple. Who is your most boring couple, Bree?
Boring would be. To be honest, I was okay with most of them, but I think the Mariah and
I was gonna say the same thing.
um
Look, you can't even remember her name.
Tessa.
That's how bored she was. She couldn't even remember that girl's name.
I mean it like that. I hope the actors aren't listening. But like, I remember the baby Aria that had something with the hearing, and
Mm-hmm.
that was it.
Yeah, I mean, I just think they didn't give them some good material to use. That's the thing. We hard they pop them in for a little bit, and then we didn't see him for a while, and then they did come up with the hearing situation with Arya, and it was like, okay, that's it. Y'all ain't got nothing else for Tessa and Mariah. So, oh, and by the way, congratulations to Cameron Grimes. She had a baby boy last week.
Yay!
Yes,
Congratulations.
Her and her husband had their little boy, so she's excited, and she's been a busy little bee running around with with their son. So congratulations to her. Yeah, I'm trying to think. Was it on before Christmas or after Christmas? I don't remember.
I think it was literally like the day before
Christmas.
Christmas, because she had posted that what a great Christmas that he decided to come before the actual holiday. Like she posted that on X.
Yep, gotcha. Now Jenna says Jack and Diane are like taking a sedative before an afternoon nap. She didn't like Jack and Diane. Shabrita says Abby, Devon, Mariah, and Tessa, and Sharon and Chance talk about no energy. I agree with that.
I agree too.
All right.
I believe someone named Cynthia said Danny and Christine. I would say they're more cringe than boring because Danny, I don't know. He looks like a grandpa trying to like make out when he's making out with Phyllis. He's just like old and like he moves weird. It's just cringe watching him making out with Phyllis and Christine. So I would say more cringy for Danny and Christine than boring. Sharon and Chance was just a dud. There was nothing more boring than those two.
Okay, gotcha.
I didn't mind Danny and Christine all that much. I just feel like it's just been done and redone and reused and recycled. That's the only thing that was for me like, oh, okay. It's like more so like they're in the background, if that makes sense. So it doesn't bother me to see them together. I just didn't like a particular scene where they were trying to get it in at his son's house. And then they were trying to make it awkward. But I don't mind them. They're okay. But
just gave me dirty grandpa vibes. It's like,
girl.
I mean, technically they are.
House and like
he's Lucy's grandpa.
Yeah,
that's Lucy's
when him and Phyllis was kissing, I was just like, I was literally like shrinking away from the TV. I did not want to see that. It was horrible.
Gotcha. Well, all right. We had a lot of people return this year, as we kind of touched on. We had the Cameron Kirsten. We had, of course, Cole came back. We also had, what's her name? Mamie, she came back. Ashley, which she comes and goes. We had several people Who made the best? And then of course Colleen Zink, which she wasn't even part of the show. She came over from another show, but
Yeah, so she's technically not even a return because she was a new character.
correct. So who made the best comeback this year? Would you say it's Cameron, Cole, Mamie?
Uh, I would probably say Cameron. I feel like his return had a huge impact on, at least even
Oh,
for
wait a
those few
minute. We forgot
weeks.
about Heather and Daniel. They came
Well,
back.
Keisha did bring up in the chat that Heather technically was back last year for a little bit as well.
Oh, okay.
So then that made me think, oh, okay, you're right. So does that qualify her as a return this year when we did kind of see her last year? So that's why I had like took her out of consideration. But if you feel like she should be under consideration, then she's definitely an option as well.
There's a couple of ladies said, don't forget about Shamar Moore. He came back for a day.
Uh,
He
don't get me wrong, that's my boy. I like Shamar Moore, but I don't know if I can give him credit for a little while episodes. That even though it's always nice to see Malcolm back,
yeah.
it wasn't really impactful.
No, I feel like Cameron Kirsten's impact was, I feel like that was very intense because it also affected Sharon, her daughter. We got to see Nick be mad for a real reason. And I don't know, for those 2 weeks, I feel like the acting was very intense for him to get the best return.
Gotcha. Now, you got some people saying Malcolm was nice to look at. So even if it was for a day, they were okay with that.
There's a bunch of eye candy on the show,
Well,
though. Not to say it's
we
not.
gotta do that category too.
I'm a little upset at Bree because I thought I was going to be like the only one that had that as my answer. Mine was Cameron too. I felt like he had the best return. It may have been a short stint, but it was very impactful. I remember at the time, T, when he came back and they were showing flashbacks. I can't remember what he said verbatim, but remember he had said something very suggestive to share it. And we talked about, we were surprised that they actually let him say that on daytime TV when they were showing that. So, he was just very, very creepy, very intimidating, a perfect villain, a perfect villain. And I heard you say, you mentioned a little bit earlier, he was only there, it felt like he was only there for like 2 weeks.
Right.
That man definitely put in some work for 2 weeks because he made a whole tunnel from Noah's bedroom to wherever that tunnel landed at. So he did a lot of work in 2 weeks. But I feel like he was definitely like the most interesting and the best return for the year.
Gotcha. Well, I would say the biggest comeback. Now, even though, because, well, he came back in 2022. He didn't come back in 2023. So I can't put him in the category for 23. If I had to pick somebody, it would, even as stupid as that whole plot line was built around Cameron Kirsten, I guess because there was so much drama in that whole scene, I guess I can give it to him.
If you remember that, he definitely had an impact for his short stint. He did a lot.
Gotcha. Okay. We had some sex scenes this year. Abby being one of them, Audra and Kyle being another. We did get to see Adam and Sally sleep together. We saw Chance and Sharon sleep together, and we even saw Jack and Diane sleep together.
Nate
and Victoria. Yep. Who was the best?
Oh my goodness. For this year.
You know who it is.
Yeah, I'll give it to Devon and Abby.
Girl,
I
they.
can't think of anything that tops that. And they
That's
started
exactly.
right at the top, and it's hard for some people to try to catch up to that energy and that chemistry for those scenes. I feel like some people make really great scenes. It's just like certain character pairings just don't mesh.
Mm-hmm.
I never really was a fan of Devon and Abby as a pairing. Um, but like that particular scene, that episode, that was hot for that year, for this year.
I gotta give it to Nate and Victoria because there was that one scene where we heard Elena talking to Audra. And as she was talking to Audra, they were showing
Mm,
us Nate
I
and
remember.
Victoria. And he picked her up and swung her around on that. I mean, it was the perfect, I guess, the difference in the scenes and how they had the bridge into the. I thought it was pretty cool. I
They
mean,
call
Nate is.
that juxtaposition, don't they?
I
Is that
think
what?
so. I
That's what
think.
they call that. Yeah, the perfect juxtaposition.
Yeah.
As she was describing, I
Mhm.
remember what you're talking about. She was describing what she was feeling to Audra, and then they was putting that at the same time with those scenes with Nate and Victoria. I
And
remember
it's
that.
called what?
Juxtaposition, he said.
Mhm.
Juxtaposition?
Yeah, it's like when one person is talking, and then they show like the person they're actually talking about and
I
what they're
got you.
doing. Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah, but as they were doing it, they made that scene. Nate was, I don't want to use the word romantically aggressive, I guess, if I can describe it like that.
Assertive.
Assertive. There you go. Thank you, girl. Um, I mean, he picked her up and swung her around. Of course, Victoria's hair started flying. I was like, wow, okay.
And if
So,
I remember correctly, their kissing in that scene was really hot too. It was very
correct.
intense and, yeah, and very passionate. Yeah, that was definitely one of the hotter scenes of the year.
Mm-hmm. I agree with you. I agree with you. Now, we had some rivalries this year. Who had the best rivalry this year? Now, we had this back and forth between Devon and Nate. We had this back and forth between Jack and Kyle. Who else did we have? Of course, Adam and Nick. And then Tucker had he was going against everybody.
It was Tucker versus the world, or Tucker versus
Exactly.
Universe City, at least.
Exactly. So who had the best one that it was like interesting, it caught your attention? Best rivalry.
Um, it was probably for like a short stint, but I really wish they could have, dragged this out a little bit longer. But I liked when Audra and Nikki were kind of going at it because
Yeah.
Nikki was determined to try to make Audra's life hell, especially after what happened with Summer.
Mm-hmm.
So just the fact that Audra was just playing tennis along with Nikki, like, look, you don't run me. I'm gonna do my job. Uh, there's nothing to do with my personal life, and it had Nikki stopped her in her tracks. It was really good acting between those two, and I wish that they were kind of battling each other still.
There's some people in the chat saying Jordan and Nikki as well, and then Jill and Mamie was at each other's throat too. So
Mhm. Now, for me, I'll give a quick honorable mention first. My honorable mention will actually be Nikki and Adam. Because you remember,
oh
like, when she
God,
was, like, trying to
yeah.
come at him with these tough threats, saying, I will end your world and all that stuff. And then Adam had came back to the office and was talking to Victor, and he basically told Nikki, I'm not scared of your threats. Like, he wasn't even taking them seriously. So I loved that moment because she really thought she was doing something when she was making them threats to him. But I would say the best one for me is Nate and Devon. Only
Okay.
because that was a very interesting situation. We didn't know where they were going to go, if he was actually going to be successful with his plans with Audra of having that takeover. Like, it really looked like it was actually going to work there for a minute until it all kind of blew up. But that set him on his path of power with Newman, and we got storylines out of that. So I feel like that rivalry put a lot of things in motion for the remainder of the year. So I would say that was probably my favorite rivalry, Nate and Devon.
Okay, cool. What you got, Bree?
I said mine was
Oh, okay.
Nikki and Audra.
Nikki and Audra. Okay. If I had to say best rival is Jordan versus the Newmans. Because somebody needs to knock them off their high horse because they think they're invincible. Nobody can do anything to them. Well, Jordan showed otherwise. And
To an extent, though, because the police did.
well, later down the road, but Nikki was so thinking that she was the it girl and she got the biggest fans on the West Coast to go to a strange person's house in the back of the woods.
I thought she was a star.
Yeah, oh my God, I have a fan. Oh, of course I would meet your auntie. You a billionaire. You a billionaire's wife. You ain't no way you should just be going, meeting people that you never know what could happen. And sure enough, I
With no
mean,
security.
what you say with no security?
Yeah, with no
Exactly.
security.
I
You're a
mean,
billionaire.
this
Walking
woman,
around with no security.
this woman actually had an IV full of alcohol, a doll with the bloody eyes, the Victorian doll. Then turn around, the Newman showed up. She was like, "Oh, y'all thirsty? You want some water? Here you go. Oh yeah, by the way, I'm going to enjoy watching you die by putting because they had already drunk the water."
What? What? Oh yeah, I put poison in your water.
Yeah, I put poison in your
After
water.
dying.
I should have said unalive, but she was like, "I'm going," and the way she said it, "I'm going to enjoy watching you unalive."
Mhm.
I want to change my answer. That whole
What you
breakdown.
gonna do?
I scratch that. I'm going with Letitia's answer. Because this is the pettiest thing you could ever do. She deserves a player haters ball for 2023. This is the level of like you have to hate somebody. You hate this person to try to drag them down like possibly the sickest road you could take them. And like we thought it was they were pushing it too far the way Sheila did Brooke on
Mm-hmm.
B&B, but this is a whole extra level
Yes,
with the whole
ma'am.
Ivy.
I
So I
mean,
agree with yours.
listen, they put that alcohol in her bloodstream to go straight to the head. You know how they tell you take them shots and be like, take it
Yep.
to the
Take it
head?
to the head.
Well, it went straight to the head through that IV in her artery. So, I mean, that was insane.
See, I do love your answer. The only reason I didn't consider it a rival because when I think of a rivalry, it's a two-sided thing. Jordan versus the Pistons. Celtics Lakers. Like it's a both parties know going in. They didn't know who this woman was. It was one-sided. So that's the only reason I didn't look at it as a rivalry per se because she was setting up a whole 20+ year attack, and these people didn't even know who she was. But she definitely made an impact on this year in a short
Yeah,
amount of time.
I was invested in that storyline. Number
Yes.
because of the Newmans. And I mean Nicholas still came back and was still mean to Adam. I'm like, dude, you almost died. You still treating Adam like he's the enemy when technically your enemy, yeah, was an organ.
You know what was
You got a whole tummy tuck from Jordan with the whole slash that he had.
Mhm.
I
I wanted to
mean,
just ask you about that too. With Nikki being an alcoholic, right?
mhm.
And a lot of times they portray certain things like addiction can be passed down. I'm surprised, and maybe they still could do this. Do you think there was a missed opportunity with Nick being slashed like that? They could have done something where maybe he got addicted to like painkillers,
Oh, he's
or something
addicted,
like
all
that.
right. He's addicted to Sally. So,
which is why he's a nominee
Well,
for.
how is he gonna get his fix? Because Adam is hitting that now. So what is he gonna do to get his Sally fix? Where is he gonna get his fix from?
Continue to hate Adam. Use that vitriol against him. It's just crazy to me. What were you about to say, Bree?
No, I said it's why the way he was moving is why he's a nominee for a couple of other categories himself.
Okay,
But
what's your other
that's it.
categories?
Simp of the year.
Oh, Simp of the Year goes to Adam. I mean, to Nicholas.
No, to Nicholas.
Really?
This whole year, and the thing is, it's so sad because Nick has always been extremely attractive. These women were throwing themselves at him. He was perfectly fine laying in his high value position. Now the Nick that we have, he was chasing after his brother's baby mama. From hotel to hotel, bed sheet, the desk, any and everything. And it's the way that he's going after his brother over that grown woman's choice and decision to sleep with both of these men. And have a whole situationship with him. It's a very simp move. And then I think it.
Hold on.
Keish in the building.
Happy New Year, Keish.
Hey y'all.
Hey girl, you missed a lot.
Sorry, I just got back in the house.
Well, I nominated Nick as Simp of the Year for all of his wonderful work chasing after Sally, making no sense of it, not trying to go out of commitment, and trying to fight his brother over his baby mama.
That's a good nomination.
I think that's gonna be a unanimous winner, just about.
Do you have one, Jay? Who's the Simp of the Year?
I think it has to be Nick. I really do.
Can I throw Tucker in the ring?
Really?
Yeah, because Tucker in the beginning, he was doing any and everything Ashley asked him to do.
That's true.
He was doing anything possible to get up under Ashley. And then that's why he's so pissed off right now, because he did all that stuff and then Ashley was like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna stick with my family."
Yeah, she did play him.
Well, then
I would be remiss if we didn't put Adam in there too, because if we're gonna be honest, Adam was acting very simpish when he was trying to get Sally back too.
Not like his brother, though. His brother took it to a whole other extreme. I mean, he was introduced to his niece before his parents were. He was still sleeping with.
Okay, I got another one for you guys. What about Kyle?
I was gonna say him too.
Kyle and Jack.
The beginning with Audra, he was very simpish.
I'll take it a step further. Jack and Kyle were a simp for Diane. They were happy to commit crimes for her in the beginning, and all that stuff back and forth. But Jack, most of all, and everyone gave him a fair warning not to marry her. But he got his criminal, and they lived happily ever after together in 2024.
So which one is yours, Keish?
Jack. Or not Jack. Kyle. I don't know if I would include Kyle because his lasted for a couple of weeks with Audra when he was pissed off at his parents.
You talking about Kyle?
Yeah. So I don't know that I would put him in the category, but I like the Nick nomination. I would agree with Jack. I would agree with Tucker. I would almost agree with Adam because I felt like he was doing too much chasing. She was completely shutting him down, and he's still. Can we just be friends? I just want to be your friend. Like, we just can't not be. It's just like, dude, she is giving you no indication right now. Come on.
She was downright telling him, and this is why I really put him in consideration, because she was downright telling him she didn't want to be with him. And he was still, going after her. So Because that's one of the reasons why T was saying she was done with Sally and Adam, and she wanted to see Adam hook up with Andra because Sally was really pushing him away, and he still wouldn't, stop pursuing her.
Mm-hmm.
Dewan, is Andra your girl? You said Kyle Abbott slept with a 10. I'm like, Andra's his girl.
That's funny. Okay, hold on. I'm trying to think. Do we have? I want to make.
Andra's a 10. Sally is mid.
He said Sally mid.
Really? I think she's gorgeous.
She's very pretty. Very, very pretty.
Audra is prettier than her though, but it's she's still very pretty.
Mm-hmm. All right, worst triangle.
Danny, Christine, and Phyllis for me.
What you got, Keish?
Nick, Sally, Adam.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to second that.
And the only reason why I don't say Danny, Christine, Phyllis is because I don't really feel like they were a triangle, because I never really felt like Danny. He didn't show that he was into Phyllis the way he has shown with Christine, and it was more on Phyllis's end. And
Okay. All right. Now I'm gonna do a rundown before.
Wait, T, do you have a worst triangle?
Me having a worst triangle is that whole thing with Sally, Adam, and Nicholas.
Okay.
I just described that whole thing with her being pregnant and Nick is still sleeping with her.
Mm-hmm.
With that whole thing was just absolutely ridiculous.
Can I make an honorable mention?
Who?
And this was only only because it's the tail end of this year. So like the hairstylists, the wigs, and the actors. I don't like some of these combinations that I've seen.
Oh Lord, girl, you're so silly.
Which is why it's an honorable mention. But I'm sorry.
Okay, so ladies, who has the eye candy award this year?
This is the perfect time for me to take my bathroom break. I will be back in a couple of minutes.
Okay, go ahead.
Isn't this the one he should be here for?
No, eye candy meaning guys. Who do you find highly attractive?
Oh, guys.
Oh my goodness, this was so hard. Because it's between two. It's either Nate or Chance, but I'm going to have to give it to Chance because this man became like fine out of nowhere, because I was not even thinking of Chance at the beginning of this year, to be very blunt and honest with you. It was only after like Abby like cheated and like she was running after to catch her man, and I remember I was like, who is this fine looking man? Oh wow. And it's like every month this man has just gotten finer and is gorgeous and sexy and just everything. But that's just me. I'm gonna let everyone else speak for themselves.
All right, what you got, Keish?
Mine is gonna be Nate. I'm sorry, y'all know I love it.
Wait a minute, hold on, Keish. Nate with the part or without the part?
Wait. Whatever his hair looks like now.
Okay.
This Nate.
She said no side part. No side.
There was, I don't know what it was. He's always been a handsome guy, but there was something about the whole little thing with Victoria. For some reason, just elevated the eye candy level with him. I have no idea why, and I don't know, maybe it was because he did finally change his hair. I loved when they broke up and he was basically like, I don't want anything to do with you anymore. When he dismissed Victoria when they were at the bar, I was like, oh wow. So I don't know, that's why I picked Nate.
Yeah, I gotta give it to Nate. I didn't like the side part though, but
yeah.
I'm glad they got rid, because I didn't understand. I'm like, who wear their hair like that?
Yeah, I
You
didn't
can
get
get
that
some
either.
just for me and fill it in. It's okay. He's he's still a good, great
Girl,
looking
that's
man, but
sad.
I have to go
Of
with
course, but
Chance.
I just wonder why did they style his hair like that with that part. I remember some fans and some other content creators referred him to Arnold on Different Strokes
Oh Lord.
because of that part in the side of his
Yeah.
head. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I didn't never think about that, but you know what? That kind of looked like that. But
It was very old school. There was
mm-hmm,
something about his hair that until he, got it fixed up to the
mm-hmm,
way that we like it, it felt very old school, like 1960s to me.
mm-hmm.
I don't know what it was. That's how it felt. But Chance is definitely a close second. I agree with you, Bree. I feel like there was something about him that it livened him up this year. And I think I don't know if it's because they're trying out um, this thing between him and Summer, because I feel like when he's around Summer, he's more lively. He's not
Mm-hmm.
the very
It
like,
wasn't that coffee house scene with Sharon that livened him up. It definitely wasn't that.
yes, that oh,
No.
I didn't mind that scene.
Hey,
You
hey,
didn't like
hey,
that scene?
Keish and Bree, you sure you don't want to throw Danny in the mix for eye candy?
I'm
Don't even
sure.
start.
I'm
The
sure.
son or the grandpa?
Shut up. Shut up,
Oh,
Jay.
that there you go, Keish. Forgot about Daniel. Not Danny, but Daniel.
I think
Um,
Mm,
Daniel's handsome too, but Nate is
but
more eye candy
eye
to me.
candy. Chance is more eye candy. And I'll throw like two honorable mentions. I know I ragged on Nick, but if you put, him on mute, he's extremely attractive.
Oh yeah,
Um,
y'all
and
know I
like
love me some Nate.
another honorable mention, like that week that Adam came back with that beard.
oh, yes,
And then for one
absolutely.
episode.
That was one
That,
episode.
that one episode,
I'm
that
like,
right
wait a minute.
there,
Hold on. I couldn't understand why they let him wear that beard for one episode and then have him cut it off.
it looked so good on him.
I
I was
mean,
like,
the haircut and
what?
everything.
Is there a chance he filmed something else where that's what the character had, and then
I
maybe a
don't know.
commercial, maybe a Lifetime movie or something, and that's why he had it, and then it was gone the next day?
How you
It was
wait a minute? I
approached.
know you can men can shave the next day, but how did he grow his hair out again? I don't know what they should have left that man alone. He looked it really good.
I'll be
Right.
back, guys.
Okay,
Okay.
all right, Keish.
It's like he
Now,
had to get that honorable mention right there.
I agree with you on that one, Bree. Jay. I
Yeah.
know you
What's
have
your
an eye
eye candy?
candy for who's the beautiful ladies.
Oh yeah, I came up with a few names yesterday. So we putting Audra on there first and foremost.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna put Summer. I felt like she was because I don't know if you saw my comment. I was also trying to put it in as who had actual stories too. Like
Mm-hmm.
we were there to see them enough for them to even be eye candy. So I had Summer, I had Audra, I had Chelsea. Um, who else did I have on? I think I had one or two more. Um, Abby. That was it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll put those four: Summer, Abby, Chelsea, and Audra.
Okay.
I was gonna say something.
What you gonna say, Bree?
I was curious that, like, so there's no Lily, no Amanda.
You know what?
Uh oh.
I
Uh
looked at the
oh.
list too, and what I saw that. I know that was not intentional. I was because I was telling you I was trying to think of not just looks, but who actually had a story.
It's okay to change.
No, but no, it's funny because I actually ended up thinking of Amanda later on, and she was in a big story with the whole cheating thing. So I would put her on there too. So I have Amanda on there as well.
Okay. Yeah,
But I
she's
felt like Lily very boring. None of her relationships. The reason why I didn't put her on there, number one, I don't think she's as eye candy as the other ladies I mentioned. And I just felt like her relationships were very boring this year. Her and Billy, to me, really didn't do anything. But I felt like she had more of a spark with Billy than she does with Daniel. Because I find her and Daniel very boring. Matter of fact, that little fell asleep kiss that Heather and Daniel had, there was more fire in that than anything I've seen between Lily and Daniel.
Okay.
I don't know if y'all agree. How do y'all feel about that?
I mean, I don't know. I'm not feeling
There was some
Daniel.
passion in that kiss with Heather and Daniel.
I guess.
When he kissed her back, yes.
Yes.
Mm, yep. Well, we got your eye candy. Now we.
Oh, Elena too. Oh my God, I forgot about that. Elena is definitely eye candy. That woman is beautiful.
Gotcha. Okay.
But we got some color in there, Bree. I don't discriminate.
Like this is your list. This is your list.
You
I
got-
said nothing. Look. Chance was mine. Chance was mine for 2023, 2024. He just better not screw it up. So I don't want them to pull a Nick where like the storylines make him less attractive. But
Okay.
The
Now.
only thing I'm worried about with the Chance thing is I know they're gonna put Summer and Kyle back together at some point. So he gonna end up bringing her together.
to be honest, I actually want them together.
You want who together?
Summer and Kyle later down the line. I actually do.
Why?
They're kind of in game. They are kind of in game.
Yeah.
If it was to me,
I was watching.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say I was watching there was like 2 fan compilations where I saw like the whole storyline between Summer and Kyle. I'm like, how long is this? They have had like very deep history. Mm-hmm. And like the stuff I saw, I was like, oh, I want them back together. So I'm my fingers are crossed that they get back together later down the line.
I guess my thing is Hunter King. Yes, I could see that.
Yes,
but not Allison Lanier.
I think we could. I would like to see her with Chance, to see her interact with a different male counterpart.
And what if they bring Hope and Thomas energy?
I was just about to say now, if it turns out that this Summer and Chance have like crazy heat, then I would want her and Chance to stay together because, like you said, the Kyle and Summer that's kind of like the iconic character is the Summer King, Hunter King, excuse me. Her Summer that she has more of the history with the relationship with Kyle. So with this situation, by this girl being kind of like a newer one and she hasn't really been Summer for too long, if, like you said, if they bring Hope and Thomas vibes, then I don't know how you break that up.
Yeah. And then there will see a feistier side to Allison Lanier. I'm not saying that, it's just her and Hunter King, because Hunter King played the type of Summer that was dating married men, stealing cars, and all of that.
Seduced Billy when he was going with a mother.
Yeah. Allison
was Phyllis's daughter, for real.
Right, exactly. Hunter King played that to the hilt. Whereas with Allison Lanier, she seems like a Hope version, the old school Hope version of Hunter King. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but I feel like she's breaking out a little bit. That's why I'm hoping to see her with a different guy and see what that chemistry and that dynamic is. But as far as the 2 characters, Summer and Kyle, they are in game, and I do want them together. I keep my fingers crossed for them. But I need to see 2024 writers, producers. I know you guys listen.
Because she does have chemistry with this Kyle, too.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, but it's more like a lollipop sweet type of love. It's not that fire. I
don't know. Their little scenes, it may not have been as like ravenous as some others we've seen, but it's some heat when they're together.
And to her credit, we haven't really seen like Allison Lanier in a love-making scene yet.
That's what I'm
Um,
saying. They could really change our minds about her if they bring that
yeah,
first love scene with Chance out the box.
Because she definitely look, she definitely has the looks. Like
And she got
she,
all that hair. She started tossing the hair around and
yes.
grabbing the back of Chance's curly hair, and they do their thing. And girl, please.
Now they probably won't let him pull her hair on daytime, but if they did,
I just hope that they live up to the hype because there's a lot of people who are excited to try to see Chance and Summer together, and I'm one of them. I just hope that it just lives up, to the hype. I hope that we can get some fun, interesting, sexy chemistry, some fun scenes, spiciness. That's what I miss about daytime soaps, and I think that's why we got so excited about Thomas and Hope being together because it's that spice that we used to see back in the day, and the fans are aching for it, and we got attractive people. We just want to see something hot and steamy, something we can try to have that water cooler conversation about.
Ooh, Lord, that would be
we got it at the beginning of the year with Devon and Abby, and then Thomas and Hope took it over.
right. Yep. So, next up we have the MVP character.
I, without a doubt, will say is Audra. Audra is the MVP. She is in everyone's storyline. Even the unnecessary storyline, like the whole Jordan storyline. Why do they wrap that girl in that? They have proven that this girl is kind of like an Eva Longoria character. Because I remember back in the day, they were using her like crazy too. And then she became a massive, well, we know what happened to Eva Longoria. She became a big star. But this actress and this character, this was meant for her to do. I feel she'll definitely get an Emmy nomination next year, and if she doesn't, I will riot because she is a breath of fresh air. She's fun, she's spicy, she's what daytime soaps need.
Keisha's back. Keish,
Hey,
who's your
Keish.
who's your MVP character?
I don't have any better explanation than what Bree just said about Audra.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
What about you, Jay?
My MVP would actually be Tucker.
Yeah, I agree with you.
From his debut, coming in on that helicopter, coming in with a bang like that, to having his hand involved with so many different stories, so many different companies, showing his range. How one minute you can be furious at him, the next minute he has you laughing. Another minute he's scary. So I feel like he's just been the MVP. He's brought so much to the show. Could you imagine this past year without him playing Tucker? How boring, how many Doyle episodes we probably would have had. So I think he's definitely the MVP. Audra's up there, but I think Tucker has the edge as far as being the MVP.
Yeah, I agree with you on that.
Good points too.
I was going to say Tucker because that dude. You said it earlier, Jay. He has range. He can spread across several storylines. He can play so many emotional scenes, whether he's angry, whether he's a comedian, whether he's scary, so and that's why we were saying earlier that we hope he get a nomination in 2024.
Shabita Jennings said Audra is the MVM, most valuable mattress.
Oh, God.
I was going to say MV3. I was going to say MV3 as in most valuable 304 instead of MVP.
Stop it. Y'all crazy. Y'all crazy. Oh, my goodness. All right. And then who should have got more airtime and who should have got less airtime? Now, we know all of the actors and actresses want work, but just in soap world, with some folks that would be like, do we really have to hear him or her again? Or who would you want to see more of this year?
I definitely feel like I know they had the Cameron Kristen storyline for Sharon, but I still feel like we didn't really see her much this year.
Who, Sharon?
Hmm.
Okay. What about you,
And
Bree?
I'm not even a
Oh,
huge Sharon fan.
I know. Yep. What about you, Bree? Is she there? Bree?
Marie?
We can't hear you. I don't know if you're on mute. Oh, we'll come back to her. What about you, Jay?
I actually would have liked to seen more of Amanda. I hate how I think what that actress was put to recurring status and then eventually
Mm-hmm.
just gone, and then she came back every now and then. I would have loved to see more of her, especially when the affair was revealed. I felt like they could have done they could have dealt with that more and shown her more. So I would have liked to see more of her.
Okay. My thing is, I would have want to see more of Elena. They should have gave her some more material throughout the rest of this year.
Yes,
After,
that's a good one.
after this whole thing where she busted Nate and Victoria in L.A., that was she. Even though that throwing that little glass of water was
That
kind
was
of
weak.
weak,
Yeah.
but they could have gave her some more material this year. We only saw her one more time is when Sally delivered the baby.
Yeah, I will second that with you. I had to fix my microphone. I'm sorry, guys,
Oh, no
but
problem.
I I will double down with that. I was really upset with the way that she busted Victoria and Nate. I'm like, you should have pulled from your ancestors, especially if you catch your man and he told you specifically that he wasn't cheating. But Elena is the perfect character where you can kind of mold her into being anything because we don't have too much backstory with her. She doesn't have much family. They could have made her be a whole villain if they wanted to. There's just so much they could do with this girl, especially since she doesn't have many ties to anybody. Everyone already sees her as a good girl. There could have been different ways that we could have, solved the sides to Elena. So I wish we could have used her more.
Okay. Now,
Yeah, they really could have went woman scorned with her and had her like trying to make Nate's life a living hell. Or they could have done some things.
That would happen.
Yeah, they definitely could have done some things that they didn't.
so what about who should have got less airtime? Just like, really? Anybody?
I really hope the actors aren't listening. I would say uh, Diane. So
Wow.
in certain aspects,
Okay.
I feel like at the very beginning of the year, I feel like I was Diane to to death. But it was. I feel like certain scenes were unnecessary. I feel like certain parts of that whole Diane storyline was unnecessary. Um, I was perfectly fine with the little bit that I saw with her in the last half of this year, where we saw her interact with Jack, and she's happy. She talks with Kyle, and that's it. I prefer her kind of that way. Sorry, if there's Diane fans.
All right. What you got, Keish?
So I won't necessarily say I wish they had less screen time because we always like variety, which is something that Y&R does well. I would say I wish there was less of the story that they were in while they were on screen, and that's Phyllis. I wish that I don't necessarily not want to see her on my screen. I just wish that they would have pulled back on the storyline that they gave her. Like harping on the Diane stuff earlier in the year, and then with her trying to mend fences with them kids, and her erratic kind of behavior, and now this stuff with Danny, it's just like, what happened to where I feel like they just don't know how to write for Phyllis anymore. Like I don't understand.
Right.
Yeah, that's weird. I totally agree with you on that one. I guess I was pretty much tired of every single time we either saw Nikki or Nicholas ragging
I knew you was
on
gonna say
Adam.
that.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, every time you look up, it was always the conversation was always surrounding Adam. Now, I know those are legacy characters, so I don't want them to go away. But I think it was just the storyline. Every time you look up, it was always Adam, as if he was taking up space rent free in their heads or something. It was just overwhelming. It was too much. It was tired. I was sick of hearing it every episode. It was somebody complaining about Adam.
So it's kind of like how I was saying about
Right.
Phyllis. It was
Yes.
didn't necessarily want to see this. It was just what they had them doing while they were on screen was annoying.
Exactly.
See, you literally took the same thing that I was gonna say, and I liked how Keish worded hers because that's how I feel about it. It's not that I necessarily would have want to see them get less airtime, but that specific situation, I wish we didn't see as much. And it's the Newmans bashing Adam. We literally see them all sitting together at a restaurant or even at home, and for no reason he would be brought up as a blame for something. It was just like any time they had a chance to say something was Adam's fault, they took it.
Right.
And I was literally sick and tired of seeing that.
Yep. I
Can I have an
totally.
honorable mention?
Who?
Chloe.
Oh, Cuckoo
Oh,
Chloe.
yes.
Yes.
Every scene that she was in. Once again, we love the actress. I know she can act her tail off. But this year, with the year of the unnecessariness of Chloe, that takes the cake for me. But she'll get an honorable mention because we didn't see her too much. But when we did see her, girl, sit down. Every time, sit
Well,
down.
that would have been part of the Humble Pie Award. Remember?
Oh, I have some other individuals for that.
And look, I know Chloe hates Adam because he unalived her daughter. I get, and a mother's love is definitely different than anything else. But we've literally had scenes where Billy was cordial with Adam this year, and she can't let it go. You know what I mean? So everything she does when she bashes Adam is driven by that, and she can't let it go.
I agree. I totally agree. All right, let's do this last one for Young and the Restless. And I know you missed a lot, Keish. So, unless you want to throw some stuff out there that you want to think that you want, because we got to jump in the bowl.
No, I'm good.
Oh, okay. Which is, we always talk about taking several seats every week, right? This year, who is the one person that you wish would just sit down and take a seat? One person.
It has to be one. Just one.
My one person is Phyllis.
Oh.
I'm just so disappointed in what they're doing with her character right now. And she is just totally pissed me off this year. She has gotten under my skin.
I heard that. What about you, Bree?
I was gonna put brother and sister in this, but I'm gonna give it to Nick. He was mad all year, sometimes for no reason, and sometimes it will be like a scene where he's like just like having coffee and eating like a brownie, and like, why are you mad? So he just needs to sit down in a corner, get his life together, get his thoughts together for 2024.
Okay, what about you, Devon? Lord. I had Devon on my brain because Devon get on my nerves.
You were gonna say, was that a sneak peek on who's taking a seat?
Yes. Go ahead, Jay.
It's quite a few contenders.
One.
I'm gonna say Nikki.
Okay.
Because she's been on Adam's ass all year. And also, even though Nate kind of deserved it, she's been on Nate too. You know? So I just feel like a lot of her, she's led the charge on a lot of the Adam bashing. Her along with Victoria.
Mm-hmm.
So, and she's kind of getting her comeuppance now because Jordan's taking care of that. But I would say Nikki.
Okay. Well, I already said it, but Devon is mine. I mean, he's just always so self-righteous. It's like, dude,
Yeah, he is.
you act like you do no wrong. I mean, the fact of the matter, he also don't seem like he can make his own decisions. And I think Bree said he's an emotional thinker. And so it's like, dude, he went through that whole thing. If you really didn't want to sign up to join your company with Chancellor, you shouldn't have did it. Nobody should have to pressure you into anything. As a businessman, you would know whether this is a good business move or not. Victor would know what's a good business move or not. He was like, well, I don't know. And Lily had to persuade him, and then she kind of guilt tripped him, and then he's like, okay.
It's
And
everyone
then
else's
and
emotions.
exactly, and then he decided to go right into and then this whole thing with Nate. I mean, yeah, Nate did a bad thing by trying to, give out company secrets or whatever. But the thing is that Devon has done some bad things too. Lily has done some things. Now she kind of backed off a little bit and said, we got to give him a chance and yada yada. Yeah, Devon been getting on my nerves this year. And then you got to ask the person that fired your cousin whether or not you should take him back to your company. Oh, okay.
That was the mountaintop for me with Devon. Him
Absolutely.
going to Victor and getting his opinion. And it's like, this is your.
You mean Mr. Newman? You mean Mr. Newman?
Yeah, we said Victor, right?
No, I was playing with because Devon never calls him Victor.
Oh, that's
Mr.
right. He
Newman.
do call him
And when
Mr.
you're a
Newman.
fellow billionaire, I'm sorry. If I'm a fellow billionaire, I can still respect you, and I'm not going to sit there and call you Mister like you superior to me. Like I don't like that. I've brought that up before. I don't like the whole still calling him Mr. Newman when you're a grown man and you're a billionaire yourself now.
I never noticed that.
Yeah, I ain't paying no attention to that.
You would have thought Devon and Lily were trying to apply for a job in the media. You would have thought they were trying to get in one of the CEO or CEO positions as much as it's like they glorify Victor for whatever reason, but never trust their own instincts. And he's the worst of them.
He never calls that man Victor. I think you said you didn't notice that. Yeah. Whenever he speaks with him, he always calls him Mr. Newman. And that always irks me.
Yeah, I'm going to pay attention to that. The other thing is I don't like this dynamic between him and Tucker. I mean, Tucker makes some shrewd business deals and things like that, but that's still your father. You can figure that out. Your son loves his granddaddy. You give more respect to Victor, who has done way worse. He got bodies. You know what I'm saying? And then Tucker is like, well, I don't know. You might be lying. You might not. I don't know if I could trust you, but you can trust Victor. Oh, okay. As they say, bye, Felicia.
Bye in 2023.
Yeah, I mean, Devon got to take several seats with me this year. So. All right. Did anybody else have any other fun categories to put on the table before we move over to bold?
I think we hit it on the head.
You got any quiche since you came in late?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Jay?
No, I'm good.
Okay. All right. Before we move on to the bold and the beautiful, if you haven't hit the like button, make sure you hit that like button. We having some fun over here. This is the actual show that had a whole lot of drama going on. Some of it didn't make sense. Some of it got on our nerves. And some of it blew bold into the next stratosphere. Especially when it came to Thope. Alright. Y'all ready for this one?
Yeah, let's Let's get
All right,
it.
so I pulled a lot of the storylines that happened on screen this year. The first biggest one that started out in January was Bill supporting Sheila Carter, saying that they were in a relationship, and when they crashed the party, that because Steffi and Finn didn't lock the door, and they walked up in that house talking about that. Um, we had the FBI story. We had the story where Douglas didn't want to live with Liam and Hope. He wanted to stay with Steffi. April, we had the whole situation where Brooke broke the pact, and then it led us into May when Hope started having her fantasies, which is that picture in the corner.
Mm-hmm.
And boy, it just that whole trajectory from May into probably the end of July, which was the whole thing in Rome, Thomas kissing, well, no, Hope kissed Thomas. Then
Mm-hmm.
at the top screen, they slept together. Then we had Liam kissing Steffi. Then we had Little Puke get mad in the corner about the fact that he confronted Hope about that kiss in Rome. Then we had a different storyline with Sheila Carter, where Little Puke decided to record him with them with the phone.
Look at him.
Exactly. And then Deacon and Sheila. Deacon, that whole thing, she got off scot free because of Deacon helping with the judge, and then they got engaged. And then it took us in the last part of this year with the coughing of the blood and RJ and helping him design. And then we had the competition. And then, of course, at the end, we see, Eric was in bed and he woke up saying Merry Christmas. So I think that summed it all up for this year.
Well, technically, he said, "Moo." That's what he technically said.
You funny. All right. So, what was your best storyline this year? And I mean, don't say it at once.
Yeah, we all know what the best storyline was.
Oh, of
Mm.
course. It is so. It was a breath of fresh air. I feel like this is like it reminded me as to why I loved getting into soaps. Like I anticipated that type of heat, that type of passion, that type of spice. It's so wrong, but it's right. And they picked the right actors to bring that sort of chemistry. So without question, for me, it's soap 2023.
Yeah, it's dope for me too. God, the week of July 10th. I ain't gonna. That's engraved in my memory.
I watched it last night.
Really, all 4 episodes.
I watched the Italy episode, and I watched that interaction that Liam and Hope had, and then I watched that the time and a half that Thomas put in.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and I know obviously Keish and Bree said Thope. Of course, I agree with Thope. Jay.
You already know it's dope.
All right, what was the worst storyline this year? Oh my God, we got a few to choose from. A couple at least.
I heard Keish already.
What Keish say?
Eric.
Oh, Eric. Okay.
And I don't know if that is it two separate storylines, the Pencil Wars and Eric's illness, or would that all be? Would you include?
Did you say Pencil Wars?
Yeah, those stupid design.
Pencil Wars. I like that.
Yeah.
That's what people were calling it on Twitter. They were calling it the Pencil Wars.
Oh wow. Yeah, that's
Yeah, I think
crazy.
that kind of goes hand in hand, right? Because
Okay.
that was kind of what, it started with that when he approached Ridge, and Ridge kind of blew him, brushed him off, and then
Yeah.
he started working from home with RJ, and then we saw the health issues and all that. So I think that all goes hand in hand.
Yeah, that whole storyline was white.
Yeah, we know what Keish, you've been telling us that from day one. You was hoping that Eric was about to unalive himself off the show. So Keisha did not care. She was like, I don't care. He needs to just go.
Just
I'm
have
like,
to go.
dang, Keish.
For me, it was that dumb FBI storyline going back earlier in the year.
I told.
Because you did all of this. You had all of us asking, why is Bill doing this? What is this? And why is he acting so weird? And then you make a big point of making that big reveal when he was walking down that hallway, and then he came in the room and Ridge was there. And then you go, oh, okay, they're working together. So then that's a little exciting. And then to have it end on a dud with what, paperwork and technicalities. I mean, it had to happen because like we did need, you need Sheila on the show, like because she's the villain of the show. But like the way, like just the way they did that, it was dumb.
And
Yeah.
then come to find out, it wasn't even totally that, right? It was Deacon paying off the judge.
Yeah, him being buddies with the judge, and the judge owed him a favor.
Yep.
Yeah, so it was like that whole thing was just for nothing.
And you would have gotten her off the original charges anyway if you never came up with that plan and forced Steffi and Finn not to testify. She would still be in prison right now if he didn't do any of that.
Mine is the Douglas court case, where I think Liam and Hope, I think actually it's in the top corner, where Liam and Hope and like Thomas were trying to fight over custody over Douglas. That was just so stupid, and clearly it was unnecessary because we don't even see Douglas. Hope and Liam aren't even together. His parents are the ones that are actually together. So I felt like them putting that kid in that position to choose between his parents. I did not like that. And I would say like an honorable mention would also be that CPS storyline. Actually, no, take that back. The looking through the keyhole in Italy, bringing Ridge in and Brooke back together. That was absolutely terrible.
Please don't remind me of
that.
They were, well, that's why it's the worst. But out of all the ways that Ridge and Brooke have been back together, it took a keyhole that we had to stretch so far back into time that we had to look into a keyhole, and he had to really think about that's the woman he wanted to be with. That's why we call him Pinecone Poppy, because he has nothing in his head and he's making all these other objects and things making his decisions. So that would be my honorable mention right there.
And then with you choosing the Douglas situation, didn't he end up just going back home like a couple of weeks?
Yes.
Just went right back up to the Hope. I was hoping at least like at the end of that storyline he would have said, can I spend 1 week here and 1 week with my dad? It wasn't even that. I just want to come back home to the cabin. And he did it in front of his dad. It was like he ran to Hope and hugged Hope, and his dad is standing right there looking like, oh, dang. So it was like he didn't even acknowledge Thomas.
Yeah, that's crazy. Mine would have been that whole thing of why Lee was running around there being raving mad at her sister, and it come down because she was jealous and she had more friends. I mean, because we didn't know why she was just so upset. It was everybody speculating, because at first it was like, oh, you slept with my coworker. Okay, what they got to do with you? I mean, I think, did she get fired or something?
She said it almost cost her career. I think she ended up she said something about the husband's wife, like, made her leave. Like, they got her fired or whatever, and then she had to go to another hospital and start her career again.
Right, but then they extenuated her anger as if there was something else. So a lot of people was expecting or suspecting that maybe she slept with Jack. or maybe, some stuff like that. And it come to find out she was just jealous of her sister. And then they just left the
Because
storyline
her
right
sister
there.
could carry a baby.
What'd you say, Keish?
Because her sister could carry a baby and she couldn't.
Right.
That was the
Is that true?
basis of her.
I think Jack definitely would have slept with her sister too. He definitely would have done it.
Mm-hmm. So
I
made
agree.
the story that would have made it more believable as to why she was so angry.
my other thing. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, and not just the fact that she couldn't carry a baby and her sister could. Like, that just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it didn't. It made no sense to me. People was like, okay, that's it. I mean, not saying that that's a minuscule thing, because people are situations like that, but we thought it was so much more. The other thing I want to mention is this whole rivalry all spring between Taylor and Brooke, and who broke the pact. And it was like, no, you broke the pact. No, you didn't. I broke the you broke the pact. No, I didn't. And I mean, and the thing is, Ridge was sitting around there, wasn't saying nothing as usual. He kept that secret from Taylor that he had been over Brooks with that blue nightie she got on that's falling off her shoulders. When it was supposed to be a dinner party, not dinner party for two with the lights off, and her blue little negligee. I'm like, shit, okay, whatever.
A pact should have never happened to begin with.
Exactly.
They really shouldn't have.
That pact shouldn't have never happened in the first place. So.
I was surprised there was even a debate about who broke the pact when there was clear evidence on who broke that pact. It was Brooke. That's been Brooke since Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
Since Christmas of last year. That's why I second. I agree with you. This definitely got to be an honorable mention for me. But just the fact that she came downstairs in lingerie. Oh, you're still here, Rich. Yeah. Brooke knew exactly what she was doing. So that's the woman who definitely broke that pact.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Best couple.
Honey, so real quick, guys, 1 second.
Okay. Best couple. Go ahead, Jay.
I would say Soap.
And Keish.
She can be in a very close second.
Who?
Sheila and Deacon. I would put them as a very close second.
Okay, Keish.
I would say Thope this year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I gotta give a little bit of, because I mean, I'm trying to have a little contrast in the conversation. I gotta give She-Con their props too, because she came over there this year with that push-up bra when she ripped that shirt open and looked like she was about to tear off Deacon's face as she had him up against that front door.
I can't get into them.
You don't like She-Con?
She don't.
I just can't get into them.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Are we talking about the worst couples, or the worst pairing, or the best pairing?
No, best couple.
Outside of Soap, I feel like, Soap would always be the big one for me, but I actually don't mind Deacon and Sheila. I'm sorry, like he's the only one who stood by what he said he was going to do. He kept her out of troubles. He kept her out of the Forrester's life for the last month and a half. We haven't seen them. They're happy. They have chemistry. He loves licking on them 9 toes. So good for him. I don't mind. He's standing on business. Exactly.
And then worst couple.
It's gotta be Ridge and Brooke for me. I just, the keyhole thing, the stupid pact, and in my opinion, this version of Bridge just, to me, doesn't have the same chemistry as the Ron Moss Ridge and KKO do. So I just, when they're in scenes together, I just don't. I've just never felt. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. I've
Okay.
just never felt like that old school bridge chemistry between them, or passion between them.
Oh,
I
okay.
just, I think the keyhole thing just did it for me this year. It was so annoying.
Gotcha.
It's just, I don't know.
My worst coupling is RJ and Luna. I just can't. I'm hoping Zende come in and break the two of them up. They just
Hey,
RJ is just not. I'm sorry, Joshua Hoffman. I don't. They maybe they're giving you the bad material. They didn't change his outfit, cut his hair several times. They're trying to get. It's like they're working too hard to make him fit the character or something. And then I
Yeah, I
just
think
don't
it's the
get
way they write them too.
this the way they're writing Joshua Hoffman for RJ, because I'm not picking up the chemistry between these two. I'm more interested in seeing Zende come in there and be
yes.
with Luna. So to me, that's the worst coupling is RJ and Luna.
Actually, I don't think there's nothing wrong with RJ's character. I just think that he doesn't. They haven't given him anything impactful for his character particularly. I know he was part of the Eric storyline, but that impacted more so Eric,
Mm-hmm.
and RJ was kind of in the background. So RJ hasn't had anything that particularly affected him just yet. It would actually be more interesting if Luna was actually a bad girl character and kind of lived up to what Lee was saying, like
Mhm.
behind closed doors and was sneaking around and doing that. I actually would like Luna more that way. Um, but as far as like the worst coupling, and I know some people are gonna be really mad at this. So Finn and Steffi. Finn and Steffi. And the thing is, I was rooting for them in the beginning. I really was like, hey, Steffi has a new man, and he's very good looking, gorgeous, and he's a doctor. He has no problem standing up to Liam every now and again. But the way she's kind of like ragdoll her husband makes me root for this couple less. Um, Especially the way that she left him after the whole Sheila thing, because since she's been back, there's been no mention of Sheila, especially since after she punched her.
Yeah.
That no mention of Sheila. So you made your husband go through all that, and then you still have no problem keeping secrets from your husband, and then you're still kind of ragdolling him in certain scenarios. So I don't care to root for Finn and Steffi that way anymore.
Cool. Did everybody get theirs in?
No. I would say, was Taylor and Rich still together at earlier in the year before he went back to Brooke?
Nobody was with them.
Yeah.
No.
No, because
So,
here's the
They
other
broke up.
thing. The
They
other,
broke up last winter, right before
okay,
Thanksgiving.
but
that would have been my answer.
okay, but here's the thing. Ridge was off screen for 3 months. Remember, he was
That's
gone from
right.
December
Before the
to
FBI story, yeah, you're
he
right.
was gone from December to March when he came back for the FBI storyline.
All right, I'll go with RJ and Luna there, because as it's been mentioned in the comments and in here, they have no chemistry at all. It seemed very forced. Like, hey, who could we pair RJ with? And she was like just the most viable option. And I'm much more interested in seeing her with Zende. I'm very intrigued to see what Zende has planned as far as going after Luna. So I'd say RJ and Luna are the worst pairing.
Okay.
Aditha. Oh my goodness. So she's not a fan of Thope.
Ooh, she said, oh.
Uh-huh. And is this true? Did Scott Clifton say Hope and Liam are divorced?
I didn't see anything with him saying that.
Aditha said it. I want to see where this says that, because I've been wondering if they've been divorced, but Aditha said Thope is the worst couple.
Yeah, you do have
Yeah,
some people that don't like Dope.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
I
do.
think it's the people that
That's
don't
support
have,
Luke.
aren't Thomas fans that don't like those.
They didn't like that time and a half that Thomas put in for those 4 days. I mean, he got a whole new fan base.
If you can't get over the best storyline and you just detest the character of Thomas, then you're not gonna like him with Hope.
Yeah, the other thing.
If Hope is your girl, you know what I mean.
Yeah, the other thing is that people was having issues with them being stepbrother and stepsister, and then you got people that had issues with him remembering how she was 3 years old sitting on his lap and the age difference. So it was a lot of different factors where there's some non-Thope fans.
Well, they need to get over that because everybody knows Bold and Beautiful has been an incestuous show for years, for decades. So,
right, even
Brooke has gone through a whole family of men. She slept with a father, both sons, one of the sons' other brothers from his biological father. She slept with both of her daughters' men, one a husband, one a boyfriend. So, like, the show's always been like that.
And Taylor don't forget,
slept with most of the Forster men as well.
Hey Jay, and don't forget that she read her Bible too at the end of the year.
No.
Yeah. And we were all surprised that the Bible didn't catch fire.
I think the worst of those incestuous relationships was, in my opinion, was the little Bridget.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. They even have Bridget kissing Ridge.
Yeah.
And also Rick with Phoebe and Stephanie.
And Taylor.
I know that. So Taylor, that was weird. Phoebe and Stephanie was gross because they grew up thinking that was their uncle.
Right.
So it wasn't until it came out that Ridge wasn't biologically Eric's, and then they started, pairing them up.
And Rick ended up being Steffi's first.
Yeah, and not only that, he did it as revenge towards Ridge because he hated Ridge.
Yeah.
So that whole little situation was just gross all the way around the way they did that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just daytime stuff. I mean, Y&R is even worse than that. It's just we can only do so much as far as parents and variety, and they can only hire so much. That's why I missed like the shows back in the days where there was like 5 or 6 storylines that fit into that 18-minute show.
Mm-hmm.
And multiple families, and that's why it's really disappointing now that we are stuck with literally just the Hopes. Like, sorry, not the Hope, but the Logans and the Foresters. Then that's it.
Mm-hmm.
I hated that. Like, I miss the Spectres. I miss Death. That way it won't seem like we're seeing the same couples back and forth again. That's why I was really excited about Thope, because it was fresh. Plus, they already share a child together, so it made sense to kind of put them together, at least from my perspective. And I don't know, this is the show's bread and butter right now is Thope.
Mm-hmm.
And it's on both sides, honestly. It's not just the people that were Hope fans and hated Thomas that don't like them together. There's people that are Thomas fans that don't like it either because they feel like Hope is using Thomas.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, she's using him for sure.
T, did you see what Myra B. Florence said?
Mm-mm. What'd she say?
She said the Bible should have exploded in Brooke's hands.
Oh my God.
They pulled that Bible.
She pulled it out twice and read the same quote. Yeah.
You know what I was
like? She said, "Oh, y'all didn't hear me the first time. Y'all about to hear it again. Let me pull this Bible back up."
You know, I thought it was going to be permanently slipping out of her hands, like it's so important.
Put out onto it.
Like she can't even pick up the book. Like it was just slipping. I don't know. I was thinking that would happen, but
that is hilarious. Who's y'all MVP character?
I think we debated a little bit about this in a group chat, but for me, it's Thomas.
Mm.
I feel with Thomas, just like we saw like towards the beginning of this year, it was a tail end of what happened with the CPS call. As much as we have like stress as fans that we want to see a redemption for Thomas, and I feel like we got that. I feel like we were able to see him go to therapy, see him really put the work in, and we also see him, thrive in his design career and everything, and then also the shift and change that we saw with Hope. There was, and the fact that he got this girl running around couches and ready to sign divorce papers the next day. This is miracles working.
Don't
So
forget
yes,
take off her ring too.
take off her ring too at his house, and have the mom bust in several times, and Hope still saying, "I want to go at it again." This is. He's made a huge transformation. We were actually happy to see him with the love interest and happy to see him not be ragged on, and we see the growth and we see the change. So I feel like
Wait a
he's the
minute.
MVP for me.
We can't forget about all of the biting and scratching scenes.
Oh,
Oh my God.
See, MVP worthy, but I know everyone's going to have to say something different.
Listen, Thomas was biting. You hear me? And the thing is, hey, Annika leaned right into it. She wasn't like, kind of awkward with the scenes or whatever. She leaned right. She was like, go ahead and bite me.
She was with it.
She was with it. Yeah, oh my gosh.
Congratulations
listen,
to your wife.
I made so many videos this summer.
Congrats to the wife. What's her name? Brittany. I'm Brittany as well. Hey, Brittany. Congratulations, girl.
Mm-hmm. Brittany Atkinson. Yep. But
so her 2024 is going to be very nice.
She'll probably have a baby. She'll probably have a baby in the oven before the end of 2024.
Who knows? I'm telling you, if Matt is doing what Matt does with Thomas,
you know he is.
Sheesh.
But Bree, I'm actually with you. Thomas is my MVP of the year for B&B as well. He's been the lead male in the hottest storyline for the show. Thomas has gotten redemption this year. He saved he basically saved the company by saving Hope's line when he was gone from the last thing he did. They were struggling, and they needed him to come back. So I feel like it was a really big year for him, coming back, saving her line, bringing the company back. As far as the spotlight goes, with the success of the line, he had Hope chasing for him. It wasn't him doing anything nefarious or anything like that. She wanted him this time. So I think it really was his year.
Now I gotta give some props to Scott Clifton, because the boy acted his butt off this summer. Oh my goodness.
Yes, he did.
I mean, good grief. I mean, as much as I call him Waffle Boy Little Puke, Liam, and I think you call him Butters, right?
Land of Old Lakes, Waffle Boy. We've gotten plenty of nicknames for this man. My goodness, let me think. I had Sangria. I'm sorry. Yeah, Land of Old Lakes, Butters for sure. Little Puke, Waffle Boy. What else? Thomas's right hand man. Like this, just I couldn't think of all of them.
You know what would be interesting, Bree, is if they put Matt and Scott Clifton in the same category next year.
And what I would say to that is Matt Atkinson better win. I feel
that's a tough one though, because the way he acted with Hope when he came to the house, seeing Thomas coming there, when that whole divorce scene, when he confronted Hope after coming back from Rome, the dude acted his butt off.
He really did. But is he a lead actor in this case, or is he a supporting actor this year? Because the way I look at it, they have said Thomas's name
He's been the lead
more.
this year.
He is the lead of that show, and I feel like with Scott, and I hate to say it, like Thorsten, they kind of fall in the supporting categories. Almost any and every storyline for the past couple of years has circled around Thomas. And this year is no different. Even with Hope's awakening, it's still circled around this man and how he's going to move and how he's going to react and all of this.
Okay, so I got a little bit of a caveat with that because outside of Dope, we also had him involved with Steffi. We had him involved with Sheila Carter and this whole thing with Finn. So he's been moving around up until probably this last month with the Eric storyline. We haven't really seen him. But prior to that, he was in all different other storylines related to this show. So that might give, because the only thing that we have with Matt is the fact that he was part of the Thope storyline, right? I mean, yeah, he did say, you know, her line, but again, that leads into Thope. Whereas he was over there kissing Steffi, showing up at the house, talking to Ridge about getting Finn out of her life. Then he was over there with Purple Suit Boy, and he was talking about how much he, looking at pictures, how much he's in love with them, and then tried to C block. I can't say the other word, but C block Hope, saying I still love you, Hope, and she looking like what?
I still
So
got to give it to Matt. I'm sorry, but I would say like the beginning of the year was Matt because
the
with
beginning of
Matt,
the year.
yes, this is the tail end from after the CPS call. We actually saw him go through therapy. We actually saw him plead for forgiveness with almost any and every person. We actually saw him um, go through the whole court case and him pleading to try to get his son. I just feel like there were certain things that certain material that Matt was given that he did knock it out the park with, and not to mention, Thomas is mentioned more often than Liam has. It's actually Thomas is mentioned more, kind of like how Liam was mentioned for like the past 10 years, where every other word was Liam. Now every other word now is Thomas. That's why I feel like he's solidified himself more in the lead category versus Scott, in my opinion. But that's a whole other thing.
Now I know Keisha's back there being quiet. I know what she's probably gonna say. What you got, Keish? I think I know who you gonna choose.
Me too.
I felt like Annika was the MVP for me because I feel like she led that entire dope storyline, even down to the love scenes. In my opinion, I feel like she was the one that was kind of dominating everything.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. She was the one taking control of her own sexuality.
Yeah, she ripped those clothes off and straddled them.
She rode the surfboard.
And so to me, Thomas's character has transformed. However, I feel like his character had been transforming last year too. Like he had the one little slip up with the CPS call, but that was really it. And that to me, that wasn't even a huge thing. He had already been working on himself before that. And I don't like that they showed the therapy scene on screen. Like I like all of that, but this is stuff that Thomas has already been doing. He's already had a round of apologizing to everybody. He's already, like, we already knew how he felt about Hope. That wasn't anything new. The compliments that he's been paying Hope this whole year, like he's literally been doing that for the last 4 years. So there was nothing new there as far as that character was concerned when it came to that relationship finally opening up. To me, everything new and exciting that happened on Hope's end, because this is all stuff that we've never seen her do before. Like the change in her personality, where she
You talking about the awakening, Keish?
Mm-hmm. She's presenting herself to be more confident. She's sticking up to her mother, which that's the one person, in my opinion, that Hope has never really had a backbone with. She's always went at Steffi. She may not be um, as forceful as Steffi is and as loud as Steffi is, but she's never backed down from an argument with Steffi. She's always stood up for herself when it came out with her mother. Her mother, I feel like, is the one person that Hope has always backed down from or just kept her mouth shut. Never had a backbone, and she showed that this year with Brooke. The way she went off on her during Dope Week. Um, there's been a couple other conversations that she's had with her when she's defended Thomas, and we've never, like, yes, she's defended Thomas in the past, like here and there a little bit, but she went hard for Thomas during Dope Week in that argument, and she has continued to. There's been times where it was kind of like iffy, like, okay, what are you doing, Hope? Where you felt like she was backsliding. But for the most part, I feel like she has grown a backbone with her mother and told her mother how she really feels about him, and that they're trying to figure this thing out. So, and I don't know. To me, I felt like she was the lead of that story. And y'all know I cannot stand Hope Logan. Y'all know I cannot stand that character, but I can be objective enough to see that. To me, she was the lead in that story, and I feel like she was the one that really brought that story alive. Just because we already knew how Thomas felt about her, it wasn't anything new. With her, it was brand new stuff.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
And I
Gotcha.
would
Gotcha.
give I would give Scott Clifton Liam an honorable mention because he also killed it, just like you were describing with all his scenes with Hope and arguing with Finn, talking to Ridge about Steffi, kissing Steffi, all the little shenanigans that he was pulling.
Oh, what was that? Can you hear me?
I can't.
Yeah, I
Okay.
can hear.
Okay. All right. I didn't know what that was. All right. Did everybody get their MVP in?
I
I think
believe
so.
so.
Okay. All right. So then we got who this year need to take several seats.
Ridge.
Brooke.
Bree.
You say Brooke.
I'm gonna actually say I would love to say Bridge and Brooke. Oh, sorry, Brooke and Bridge.
You
Brooke.
know what? I'm changing mine.
Give it to Brooke.
Eric's asking getting a seat.
Oh, dang. She said Eric. Oh my God. I know
Eric
he's
can take a seat.
I know he's late to the scene, but I'm gonna put Xander in the seat. You get on my nerves. It's like, really? How you just gonna come out of nowhere? And well, I'm not finna. I don't even want to tap into this first week because I'm about to be annoyed at Finn. But yeah, Xander needs to take a. I'll give him the month of December take a seat. But if I had to do the rest of the year, it would probably have to be. I don't know. I kind of want to say Liam. I know Scott acted his butt off, but he was getting on my nerves.
He's got a well-deserved seat.
Yep.
So,
What
I
about you,
say
Jay?
Brooke because she
Mm-hmm.
just not. She was always getting in that girl Hope's business and not letting her live a life. It was like she was always in her ear, trying to make decisions for her, and she was doing that most of the year. So that's why I had Brooke.
classic Brooke.
Bree,
Mhm.
you
It
had
was it was classic Brooke, but just the fact that Brooke, out of all people, you know exactly what your daughter is doing. Is I don't like the fact that she keeps walking in, knowing what her daughter did, not allowing for the room to breathe, allow her to catch her breath, get some water in her system. I just don't like this self righteousness of Brooke given the decades worth of evidence we've seen of her past.
Yep.
What do we always say though? They need to make sure they lock that door every time.
Right.
And Brie,
Exactly.
you know what it is? She want to see it. That's the only force to man she hasn't had, and she's been trying to see what this boy working with. That's why she keep barging in.
And that explains why she hasn't worried about planning that unnecessary wedding we don't care to see.
Oh gosh. Yeah, they just dropped that storyline. She was designing her own wedding dress and then nothing.
They could have been like, look, they went to the courthouse and that's it.
I saw somebody on Twitter said, what if they've been holding off on this wedding because after Eric recovers, they're going to have a double wedding with Donna and
Oh,
Eric.
come on.
Oh, God.
No. Oh, my goodness. Ugh.
I actually could imagine this for Valentine's Day week because that's coming up around the
Listen,
corner.
here's my thing for Val, and I know we talking about 2024 because we know this proposal had just happened between Thomas and Hope. That whole spoiler about everybody being surprised by her decision, which she must be saying yes. If they can keep Xander out the way, this would be a nice Valentine's thing if they did a wedding next in February.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Thomas and Hope?
Yes.
Oh, hell no.
What?
No.
You don't want a wedding, Keish?
What'd you say?
You don't want a wedding?
Not this early, no.
We hope to tell that boy she love him before she marry him.
We need that proposal to be a little bit better.
Listen, we in Sora's soap world. We got to escalate this. If we can push Beth to age 8, we can push this wedding along.
Well, we need to escalate Hope's feelings and Hope's action.
Wait a minute, is Beth really 8 right now?
Yeah, they escalated her to what, 7 or 8?
Yeah, she's like 7 or 8 years old.
And
7.
she was born in, was that 2019 or 2020? 2019.
Like that.
I thought it was 18. It was 18 or 19.
But they aged this girl 7 years. They aged this whole Beth storyline 7 years. Or they want to go back to what happened with Emma and what happened with this and what happened.
Yeah, how long ago was the Emma crash? That was only 5 years ago, right?
That was 2019.
Okay.
But if we're going along the lines of how old Beth is, it was 7.
Yeah, but by then she was at least almost 1 year old at that point?
Yeah.
When the crash happened? Okay.
So and that's that. I would say like an honorable mention for Take a Seat for the whole year as a writing, because we did not need this last little tidbit regarding Emma. It's so unnecessary. I cannot think of anything regarding Emma beside her dancing around in Skechers. I'm sorry.
Oh my gosh, you're so funny.
Why is Xander back? Because with the conversation with Finn, they made it seem like, after he got fired, he went back to London or whatever, and now he's back here. So did he just get a job in another field?
Yeah, why do you come all the way back over here? Did they say why he came to town?
They made it sound like he's back because he got a job in LA again.
Oh,
but
okay.
It's not with Forrester. So I don't know what he's doing.
I was so disappointed.
Was he a photographer or something like that?
Oh, girl, I don't even remember.
Yeah, I think he was. Because he was like taking pictures of Zoe, right, when she was a model. And
he was an intern with Emma, and Zoe, I think, was a model or something like that. But like, if they're going to bring back Xander, because I know we can move on. Like, if they're bringing back Xander, put him with Zoe's sister, who at least.
I don't think he's going to be here long. Honestly, I think he's literally just back.
Yeah, I think he's just there to drop that seed.
I got you.
Mm-hmm.
Because that would have been perfect for put him in Paris together, because she knows the situation better than anyone regarding her dad and what happened with her sister and all of that whole Beth storyline. That would have been a cute look, but oh well.
Although I am wondering if the way they've been featuring these flashbacks, like showing so many flashbacks with Zoe in them, I'm wondering if Zoe's going to be back It's always
Me
going to be that kind of company
too.
too. Because when she left, she went to go do that Fantasy Island, a remake show on Fox. But I think that show's been canceled since. So I think she's available.
I don't think that show has any interest in bringing.
Yeah, I don't think they have any
Permanent
interest.
characters
Yeah, I
back.
mean, you got rid of freaking Krista Allen. You got rid of the guy
There seems to be
Darren
some
Brooks.
stuff behind the scenes with that, right? Like there was some
Yeah, but
personal,
even
emotional stuff going on behind the scenes with that story, right?
yeah, but there were other people that they've been kicking to the curb. I'm like, if they gonna get rid of them, you gonna bring back Zoe? I don't know about that one.
I mean, I guess it depends because if when this comes out, when this thing about Thomas comes out, if Hope ends up leaving him because of it,
I don't think she will.
you
I'm
can put
telling
him
y'all,
back with Zoe.
I don't think this will hurt. I don't think
I
this
hope
will
it
hurt.
doesn't. I
think this is designed to hurt Sin.
Yeah, because it's gonna cause contention between Steffi and Finn.
Yeah.
And
I think that's what the whole
especially
point of this is.
especially on this upcoming Thursday with Finn's behavior where he's conflicted between the story Steffi tells him and what Xander told him. It's like, dude,
Yeah.
are
Like,
you
why do you believe this
Why not worried about
stranger
it?
over your wife?
exactly?
And also, why are you concerned about Hope?
Yeah, that's the other thing.
Concerned
He's
about the
worried
woman
about
that I
Hope's
can't stand.
right. He's worried about Hope's safety. You know, she gonna be like, "Why you worried about her? I'm your wife."
Because he probably felt something when he hugged Hope, like he felt something when he hugged Sheila at the courthouse.
Did he feel something when he was rubbing Bridget's back?
He felt something there too, probably. I know Bridget did.
That's another thing because we were talking about missed opportunities on The Young and the Restless. I kind of would have wanted them to explore that if they're going to break up Sin.
The only reason I wouldn't want that is because it would be yet another local woman, or I mean, I guess
Oh,
Brooks
yeah,
more
that's
so.
true.
Another one of Brooks' daughters that was inserted in Steffi's love life, and I don't want to see that again. Like if they're gonna have Finn have an affair or do whatever, I would prefer them introduce a character that's going to be temporary and then leave after that's all resolved. Like I like Bridget. I don't want to see Bridget and Steffi go at it over a man like she's had to do with Hope for the last 10 years.
Well, she gonna go over it with
fresh though.
She'll be going back and forth over it with Hope this week.
It could be done in a way where it doesn't have to be any fighting. If those kisses come out, it could be Finn deciding to be done with Steffi.
I know, but if it
you know what I mean? It wouldn't be like a fight.
The vision that I have is if that comes out, that because we've always seen Finn fighting for Steffi for that marriage. I would want to see her do that for Finn, so that if it would work out that way, then that means there would be a fight because she would be going at Bridget. And I don't want to see Steffi and another one of Brooke's daughters fighting over a man. I would prefer it be a character, a colleague of Finn's that is outside of the family.
Like Paris?
I would go for that one.
Remember when Paris had her little fantasies of Finn for a minute?
Yeah, to me that would be better than Bridget. Now I don't know if the chemistry is as good as.
Yeah, see, I think there's chemistry with Bridget and Finn. The way that girl was looking at him in that room, so the chemistry. I feel like the potential for the chemistry is there with those two.
It is. I just hate the idea of another one of Brooke's daughters.
It would bring back up the whole Forster versus
exactly.
That rivalry situation, yeah.
And Brooke would be all up in Bridget's ear, like she feels too good for Steffi. You would be better for him because she likes Finn too. You would be better for Finn than Steffi would. You need to go for it.
Which would defeat Brooke's other purpose too, because she wants Hope back with Liam. But if you're pushing Bridget to take Steffi's husband, then that's going to leave her open for Liam, and then Hope can't get him. So Brooke's going to screw herself one way or the other.
Well, that ain't happening anyway. I think Brooke is probably going to accept the fact that her and Liam are never getting back together, at least not anytime soon.
Wow. Yep. I agree. Let me see, what else do we have? Unless everybody got their who's taking a seat for the year in?
I believe so.
Okay. Simp of the year.
Simp.
Thomas.
Whoa, wait a minute. It caught me off guard.
I mean,
I see the reasons why people will say that.
Yeah.
Because this girl is constantly saying, I don't have feelings for you. I enjoy having fun with you, blah blah. And he's like, I love you. I want to be with you.
I love my boy. I love Thomas to death, and I like Thoth, but yeah, Thomas got to get that Simp card.
You just said you love Thomas more times than Hope has.
What'd you say?
I said you just said you love Thomas more times than Hope has. You just said I love my boy. Hope hasn't even said it once. She said I love you for that. But you said it more than she did.
I think the one thing that bothered me the most, well, one of the things, is when Thomas took his ass over to Liam's office to basically beg him to take Hope back because he knew that would make Hope happy. And it's like, you, of all people, the man that has been sleeping with Liam's wife, has the nerve to go over to his office and fuss at him about not forgiving her and not taking her back and giving her another chance and begging him to take her back. I guess I won't say begging, but it was just, I'm like...
Wait, did he say that before he put in the time and a half, as Bree calls it? Or did he say that?
That was after.
Damn.
Yeah, how you gonna, have a 4-day excursion and then say, here, forgive your wife and take her back?
How you gonna break this man's wife's back for a day and a half to how many hours or how many days it was?
True, listen, Jay, that was 12 hours, 4 days TV time.
Yeah, 4 days TV time for sure, yeah. 12 hours at least.
Yeah, because remember they showed us, she went over there.
Seconds, thirds, and fourths.
She went over there. She went over there in the morning, and then they showed us scenes with the sun setting, and she was still over there.
Couldn't leave.
She couldn't leave. She was over there all day.
Yeah, Brooke showed up after work.
Yep.
But
I don't know.
So you guys feel Thomas is Simp of the year? I was actually going to say Deacon because he got a whole. Yes, he got a whole criminal back out on the streets. He negotiated with the whole judge. He did the one thing that no one asked him to do, which is to get Sheila out of jail. She could have been. He could have been a man to save the day. He could have been like Ridge's favorite person.
He ain't worried about being Ridge's favorite person the way Ridge treated him.
But what I was saying,
why would he care about them people over there?
Well, I'm saying, like, if he wanted to be in the good graces of them, especially since Hope has to deal with that side of family, he could have had Sheila locked up. But no, he kept her out. And he kept taking nothing but abuse, especially towards the end. And everyone going to his restaurant, like destroying things and like humiliating Sheila, He's taken a lot for this criminal. I'm sorry, that's Simp of the year.
Hey, Bree, let me add something else on top of that. Do you remember when she was still with Bill? She had a choice because he asked, "Why don't you be with me instead of him?" And he was like, "He rich, he got money. I'm going over there."
That's right. That's right. Sheila straight played him for Bill. Totally forgot about that.
Yep, she was like, "I'm going over here with the wealth." You living in a closet, and then it could blew up in her face because she was
But you
being
know, she
set
didn't
up.
really mean that. She was just trying to, do whatever she could to keep herself free.
Jay, are you rationalizing for the psychopath?
Hey, I'm just being honest. And I can't really call him. I don't know. I can't really call him a simp.
Oh, come on.
I really don't. I really don't see him as a simp in this situation.
I mean, she.
This woman has terrorized people for years. He had the whole golden opportunity to keep this woman in jail. He went above and beyond to get this woman out. And then he risked also losing his relationship with his daughter and his grandkids for this woman. This is simp catastrophe for times 1,000 for 2023.
Yeah, he's about, and he's been trying to get that relationship with Hope and Beth for a very long time, and that's on the line because of the fact that he's deciding to try to
For
keep
Sheila.
to keep keep Sheila in check.
I'll give him this much though. At least Sheila reciprocates what he feels.
That is true.
Thomas is not. Now, do I think Hope is in love with, or loves Thomas? I think she does. I think she just doesn't recognize it yet. She just can't admit it to herself yet. However, from Thomas's point of view, she's still saying to him, "I'm not there yet. I don't love you," and he still tells her every day, "I love you. You're the only one for me. There's no other woman for me. I want to be with you." And it's like nothing gets nothing back.
Y'all notice them keywords still work though, because when he was hitting her with that, I told you this before, and I'm gonna tell you again. I'm a one-woman man. Her face lit up
like a Christmas tree.
Smile out wide as the Joker's. And so them keywords, he know them keywords. It's like the Manchurian Candidate. Whenever he say those specific words, he got her.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, she's asked him to say it before.
Mm-hmm. That go. Please say it again.
Tell me how much you love me.
Tell me I'm the only one.
Yeah, however, I can't say that to you right
okay.
now.
Can I also say that Finn is simping too?
Can you say what?
Finn is simping too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I think Finn is more of a simp than Deacon.
I'm sorry. No, because even Finn was trying to get his mom out of town. Once again, this is a serial killer of daytime that Deacon was trying to keep out and sucking those 9 toes for.
Look, this woman was blowing Deacon's back out, so he wasn't giving it up. Like, you know what I mean? Like you brought up, he could have been the hero. He would have been the hero for people that don't respect him anyway. They would have treated him just like they treat Adam on Y&R. How many times have we seen Adam save the day just for them Newmans to treat him like crap again? So Deacon ain't worried about, saving, making Ridge happy or, anybody that Sheila was threatening. He ain't worried about that.
It's more so in close proximity to who Hope loves and what's important to Hope. And that's why I feel like it's a lesser of two evils. Either, you keep your girl around, you have your peace and your sanity, but at the same time, you have no family, or you throw her in jail. I mean, you might be a little bit lonely, but at least you have your daughter and your granddaughter and your grandchildren in your life still.
Yeah.
That's why I feel like he's the biggest simp. You risked it all for this woman.
Yeah.
I mean, Finn did the same though. You got Finn sitting here hugging her, telling something I've never felt him to be like this before. I've never had this connection to a mother. He doesn't even know who he knows shot him. At least Sheila didn't shoot Deacon. She damn near killed this boy, and he didn't want to really get rid of her.
True, I give you that. That's true.
Yep.
He had a mama. Lee was his mama.
Mm-hmm. So, do we get all our simps in? Because we had 2 hours. We had 2.5 hours now.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right. What about who needs more airtime?
Zende.
Zende for sure.
I would have said Taylor, but she's gone. So
Yeah, I mean, had she still been here, definitely Taylor. But we know that that's not gonna happen.
mm-hmm.
Well,
I'm gonna
I
say
guess
Carter.
considering we're talking about this current season or this past season, this past year,
Mm-hmm.
I guess Taylor can still be included. It doesn't matter
Man, I
that
think that
she
was
left the
the
show.
biggest mistake. I don't know what. I know there's a lot of stuff like you were saying over this past month that was going on behind the scenes, but I mean, to me, she rocked out as Taylor.
She did. She was
She
great.
did. She was amazing.
Everybody is like, "Where's Taylor? We need Taylor back." You know, I mean, man, it just suck.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
who did y'all have for need more airtime?
Yeah, it's Zende for
Zende.
sure.
Okay. What about you, Jay?
I feel like Zende is getting it. Like he's in the process. Like we're starting to see him more, and I think he's going to continue to get more. So I would say like Carter, because they're not really doing anything with Carter right now.
Yeah, Carter's more, but he's been working a lot behind the scenes.
Yeah, he has.
Yeah.
Yeah, writing the show, which that's a tough.
Oh
With
man.
Carter for a little bit.
Wait a minute. When we had did we do we didn't do the eye candy so yes we did. Nobody
We did it for
mentioned
Pioneer, but I don't think we did it for B&B.
Oh, we didn't. Okay. Cuz we got
Yeah.
to do that cuz I'm like, "Dang, we didn't I didn't hear Bree say Carter was her eye candy."
Because he's not this year.
Really?
He's not this year. I'm sorry, guys. So it's actually Thomas this year. Much to my surprise, I didn't think I was actually going to say his name. I thought it was going to be Carter all the way through. But no, it's Thomas.
That biting changed it for you, Brie?
No, it wasn't abiding. It was just the chemistry that really excited me to the character. That's why I really love certain storylines with on daytime soaps. Because I remember like back in the day, that's why a reason why I liked Phyllis and Nick because of that hot, steamy intensity that they had. And it's the same thing with Thomas, but just eye candy in general, like the styling, the way he moves, his swagger, everything about him. Eye candy for the year.
Okay. Quiche.
Man, that's a difficult one because
I was going to say, Keith, I think all your eye candy is on Y&R, so I don't know.
I mean, there's so many on bold too. Because as annoying as Liam is, he's definitely eye candy. He's a very
Yes, he is very handsome man.
I'm gonna go with Finn this year because
Really?
I mean,
Damn.
I think he's gorgeous.
He need a little bit more. He need a little bit more muscle.
Huh?
You know.
You said that with some disbelief. She said, "Really?"
She said she need a little bit more meat. Who got a little bit more meat for you?
For you, T.
I love Finn's body.
Wait a minute. What did you say?
I love his body.
Who?
Finn has a great body.
You said Finn?
Yeah, he's a great body.
I love Finn's body.
But you said you need more meat.
I think T like a little more thickness, a little bit more fullness. It sounds like Finn sound like a little too slender. Just a bit.
So
like he's ripped, but he's slender. I think she like a Bill type body or a Carter, somebody that's got more meat to him. I guess.
Now, Bill?
Here's the thing with Finn for me. And unfortunately, we didn't really get any love scenes.
Yeah, we got the door.
Yeah, but it wasn't like a full love scene. We haven't had a full love scene since that one really big one after they got back from Monaco. Everything else has just been like.
Well, she was pregnant most of the year.
Right, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So we haven't really gotten anything. But my thing with Finn is if you ever pay attention to when they're talking in their scenes, there's a lot of sexual innuendos that he throws in there every once in a while. he's always picking her up, carrying her to the room, putting her up against the door. And the one scene after they got back from Sheila and Deacon's house, one of the scenes where he picked her up and carried her to the room. But when they were on the couch, like the way he unzipped her shirt for like 0.5 seconds, you felt like he was about to put his face in her chest. But yeah.
Well, I mean, that's different than love scene. I'm talking about physicality. You know.
A lot of people call his skin is a little too lean, a little too thin. He got like a swimmer's body.
For me and for my eye candy, I like Finn's body.
Gotcha. Cool. What you got, Bree?
I had Thomas.
You got Thomas.
Yeah, I said Thomas. I mean, I guess is that enough meat for you, Letitia?
Well, I mean, he's kind of thick in the arms, and you know, you want some. I'm tall and thin, so you know, I need somebody to toss me around a little bit. You know what I'm
saying? Matt lifts about 485 pounds to 500 pounds in real life, so he could definitely lift you up.
Yes, a lot. I mean, I know RJ is younger, but he's not built badly either. Josh Hoffman is, you know, pretty muscular as well, and of course Carter. So, but we didn't get to see a lot of Carter this year, even with Katie.
Who did you say was your eye candy?
I mean, I did see Carter on the roof when they were working out this year, so you know, I'll give it to Carter for that, you know, one episode.
Yep. No one said RJ.
Who? I was just saying he was, you know, he had a physical, you know, his muscle. He was muscular, whatever.
Yeah, he's got some big arms.
He does. Jay, who's your eye candy?
I would say
Brooke.
You silly. I will give it to Steffi. I'll say Steffi. You know, she came back after having the baby, and she had, you know, a little donk.
Oh my God.
So I'll give it to Steffi.
Oh my goodness, Jay, you're funny.
I'm very pretty, but you know, I'm very pretty, but I guess kind of like how you talked about Finn, I need a little bit more meat on the whole.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Who needed less airtime this year?
Eric.
I mean, listen. You know what? I actually looked at the timeline of that storyline. That storyline started at the end of August. And it went all yes. It's because I was
from the time that he asked.
Right, when he started having some issues with his hands and stuff. That started at the end of August, all the way up to December. That was one long storyline. And we hadn't even hit the November sweeps yet. And that storyline had started. So, yes, I agree with you on that. Whoever said Eric.
That is me.
Yep. What y'all got? Bree and Keish.
Hopefully, well, you probably Thomas's sister.
Donna's sister.
Oh, Donna's sister. Oh.
You talking about Katie?
I think she's talking about Brooke.
Oh,
she doesn't want to say that woman's name, so she said Donna's sister.
I was thinking about Katie. I'm like, we don't see her anyway.
That's how Ridge introduced her.
Oh, wow.
Who was it that he was talking to? He introduced, God, what were they talking to? I can't remember who they were talking to. And, it was the doctor. It was Eric's doctor. And he introduced himself, and then he said, "This is Donna's sister."
He didn't say, "This is my fiance." He said, "This is Donna's sister." Damn.
Yeah.
Dang, that's crazy.
So that's
Uh,
been like a long running thing on social media. Nobody
Mm.
calls her Brooke anymore. They call her Donna.
What you got, Bree?
I'm gonna give it to Brooke as well. I'm gonna need for I could have used a few less scenes for her not allowing something. So, and to be quite honest, I'm trying to think of like any impactful storyline that Brooke has had. I think the only one would be this Eric storyline because prior to that, she's been kind of like in the background. But when she came on screen, it was like an unnecessary thing. Like you're going to your daughter to talk about her sex life for what? You're going to it's like why are you there to try to comfort Thomas and Steffi when it should be their mother? Like, just a lot of unnecessary things with Brooke's character.
Gotcha.
The scene where Ridge was telling Steffi and Thomas about Eric. Like, why were you there? Why was she there? There was no need for her to be in that scene.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I totally agree. And then, who should now we did this on The Young and the Restless. It's not that many cast members on here, but somebody that hasn't been coupled up. Who would you like to see? Now, I said Finn and Bridget. Is there anybody else that y'all can think of that you figured that they should have been put together?
Carter and Steffi.
Okay. Bree, Keish.
I would probably we could probably put I don't know if I want to see that actually. Put Sheila and Liam together. That might be.
Oh my God. No. Sheila and Liam.
That'd be the only other thing that you guys could really add.
They put Liam with Quinn, and we would have never thought we saw that. Now, obviously, he brought with somebody else.
Thank you for pointing that out. Thank you for pointing that. So it's not too far fetched.
Oh
I
no!
mean, if they drag him down a particular road, and Sheila catches Liam completely off guard one day, and she can send like a whole picture of like sleeping next to Liam, send it to like Spencer.
Could you imagine Sheila calling Liam daddy though? Like that would be so weird.
Oh my gosh, that is funny.
Oh my
God. Like he's younger than her. And you know what I mean? So that would just be weird if she was calling him daddy like she does Deacon.
Mm-hmm.
And an honorable mention would be Finn and Taylor.
Yes, I brought that up earlier this year. I brought that up earlier this year, Bree.
That chemistry, they had hot chemistry. That was a missed opportunity. Yeah.
That whole episode where she came to see him when Steffi had left town and they was talking on the couch. And
that is a hard pass.
But more than Taylor and Finn, I thought Taylor and Deacon was a missed opportunity. I thought they did a chem test with those two, and it worked. And I thought they would have been really nice.
You know who else would have probably been together is Bill and Taylor.
Or Bill and Lee.
Bill and Lee.
I would have liked
Bill and Lee just don't look right together to me.
Yeah, I don't.
He doesn't look like his type physically.
Yeah, I agree with you. When they did the chem test with the two of them, I didn't.
Yeah, there was nothing there.
I didn't really see. But what I would have liked to have seen
is something else, though.
Yeah. What I would have liked to have seen is Eric and Lee, because Lee has the type of. Yep, because Lee reminds me, with her feisty attitude, she reminds me of Stephanie in some way.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they both have that stick up they, you know what, type of
just mean
personality, yeah.
Yep, I agree. I mean, it was some possible combinations once you think about it. You know what I mean? So
Angela Atkinson in the comments says Sheila would call Liam grandson.
That's hilarious.
But it'd be a very unique turn of events if Liam and Sheila were to get together. Could you imagine like the upheaval? Like both Seffi and Hope would like try to keep the babies, like try to keep the kids away from Liam. They like he probably would have lost his job at Spencer Publications. Like he would have lost a lot. He would have had to turn into a full on villain to really be with Sheila. That I don't know. That would have been a funny opportunity that they
about to get Liam in his villain era. But you know how they gotta do that, right? After him consistently trying to take Steffi from Finn, and it's just not working, he has to get completely drunk, wasted, right? And then he wakes up. It could be like a Friday cliffhanger. He wakes up, and then Sheila comes from under the sheets. And it's
Oh,
like,
y'all crazy. Y'all coming up with I know.
I don't even
That
want to
is a that is
imagine.
no do do
and
do
he
do.
just has, and Liam, Scott Clifton is amazing with the facial expressions. The face he would make when Sheila comes from under the covers and says, "Hey, Daddy,"
Y'all going
he
off
would
on
be face of
the
the year.
y'all funny.
Oh,
That is
God.
hilarious. Okay. So, did you guys have any other categories that you wanted to add to bold? Because now we got to go head to head. And what I mean by that is that, like we had Simp of the Year, we had one Simp on Young and the Restless, we have one on The Bold and the Beautiful, who was the biggest of the entire daytime for CBS.
Both shows combined.
Correct.
Going head to head for awards. Okay.
All right, y'all ready for that? And then we're going to shut it down so folks can, if they got to celebrate or whatever.
uh-huh.
All right. So, best couple, we said Abby and Devon. Well, most romantic scene. We said Abby and Devon. You weren't here for that one, Keish. And then we got Thope. So if we had to compare the scene between Abby and Devon with all over that penthouse, and then of course the 12 hours over at Thomas's place, who was the best romantic scene?
So,
Oh yeah, no question.
Without question.
Okay. All right. Cool. Um. We said that the worst storyline on Bold was Eric. The worst storyline over, we had multiples, but I guess the biggest worst storyline on Young and the Restless is that whole thing with Phyllis faking her death. Which one was worse, Eric or Phyllis?
Phyllis.
Eric.
I'm stuck. Um,
I'm going to say Eric.
I'm gonna say Phyllis.
Okay.
Out of it too. Yeah.
She made her children grieve. At least Eric, I mean, at least wanted to keep it a secret, but he wouldn't want his children to grieve over
Yeah,
him.
I mean, that's true. I just couldn't deal with all of the hospital stuff, the coughing of the blood, and all that old craziness. I was just, mm-mm.
For me, it just extended from not only did you keep this from your kids, the choice in doing the fashion wars, the design wars affected your company. The pencil wars affected your company financially. So it had an impact personally and business wise, where that company employs how many people, and your family, like your kids didn't even know. Your kids were in the dark this whole time. It's just selfish, like everything, and it caused tension between his grandsons.
Mm-hmm.
Now, T, I actually thought you were gonna have the whole Nick, Sally, Adam thing as the Y&R side.
Yeah, I just wanted to pick, because we had multiple, but to pick one to go up against the other one on the other side, that's why I did it that way.
I pick Eric every time. I hate that story.
I couldn't. It was just too much. They were trying to invoke emotion, and I don't like stuff like it. Didn't. Now we did have the two simps of the year, right?
Yeah. I think we all know who's gonna win that overall one though.
So who was our biggest simp? It was Nick on the Young and the Restless, and then on the Bold and the Beautiful, we said
Thomas won that one, right?
that's who I said was a simp because I mean the girl don't even love him, and then somebody also said Deacon.
Yeah.
That was me. I said Deacon.
So is it? Let's go with Deacon then, because yeah, you got a daughter and all this stuff, got a whole in the year.
Even with that, I think Nick wins Simp of the Year.
Keish,
give it to Nick.
Bree.
Nick, without question, because he's still mad.
Yeah, Nick is still mad.
With no end in sight.
No. Okay, so we had two.
He broke up with her.
We had two villains. Sheila versus Aunt Jordan. Who was worse?
Jordan takes that, boy. This girl put
this year.
Put alcohol on me.
We're basing it on this year, right?
Yep.
Sheila ain't really did anything this year.
She sure hasn't. Sheila, she's been chill out.
Well,
I give it.
Go ahead, Keish.
I was gonna say we're just basing it on this year. I gotta give it to Jordan because Sheila was in jail this year, earlier this year, and hasn't done anything since she's been out.
Okay. Cool.
Breeze.
Oh, Bree, did you say?
I'll say Jordan because Sheila had more of a redemption storyline than the villainous storyline this year.
That's true. Now we got some folks sitting down, and I know I said Xander, but I'm trying to remember who did we had primarily for the Young and the Restless for who's taking the seat. Well, I guess
we had different answers there too. Yeah.
Right, and the thing is, if they both all of them gonna take a seat, they just need to take a seat.
I think I said Nick.
Go ahead. What you say, Keish?
I can't remember who I said for the Young and the Restless.
Who would you guys want back more, Elena or Taylor?
Oh,
Taylor. Yeah,
Taylor's character has more of an impact on the show than does.
Taylor, yeah, you're right.
Okay.
Especially for the Eric storyline, she was heavily needed.
Because what Elena gonna do if she come back weekly, throw another cup of water on Nate? You're right. Taylor's gonna have a bigger impact.
Okay. You're so funny. All right, we got an MVP character. We had Tucker. And then on the bowl, it was a toss up because folks were saying Thomas, folks were saying Scott, folks were saying Annika. We got to pick one for bold.
Tucker for me for the overall.
I'm gonna stick with Thomas for Bold and the Beautiful. But if we're choosing, are you trying to nail down one specific for Bold?
YNR versus Bold.
I'm sorry, it's Audra on both soaps. She was utilized and used and talked amongst anybody that I know, as far as any character on either show. So I'm going to give it to that girl.
Can't argue with that.
Keish?
Considering that people tuned into Bold specifically because of what happened with Soap, like you saw a lot of that across social media. That I've never watched this show before, but I'm tuning in because of the all of the talk around Soap. I gotta give it to Annika because she actually brought in her and the Soap situation brought in viewers. Or brought back viewers that watched previously and had tuned out until now.
Okay. Gotcha. All right. And You know what? I skipped one. So who had the worst breakup? So, and I know we didn't talk about that on The Young and the Restless. So Kyle and Summer had a bad breakup on The Young and the Restless. And then Liam and Hope had a bad breakup on The Bold and the Beautiful. Who was worse?
I think the worst would be Hope and Liam because they had a whole family. The way she cheated on him kind of came out of nowhere, but for good reason. Because he had it coming to him. But I feel that's the worst breakup.
I gotta say, in my opinion, the one between Kyle and Summer. Summer had been hiding. She was about to send his mama to prison.
True.
I mean, Summer kept a huge secret, knowing that her mother was alive, and Diane was, on the hook for that in the jail cell. And Summer was smiling in their face, living up in their house, eating their food, and using up the electric. So,
Using up the electric.
she was all up in their face, smiling, acting like she wasn't knowing nothing, and sneaking off, going seeing her mama and stuff like that. She was about to put her husband's mother in jail. And so then he like, oh, you been lying to me? Oh, okay, cool. And Audra was waiting in the wings, ready to crawl across that mattress to come to Kyle.
Yeah, I gotta agree with you. I think Kyle and Summer's breakup was the worst based on how it happened or why it happened.
Mm-hmm.
Personally, I think Adam and Sally had the worst breakup. But if I'm choosing between these two, one on each side, I agree. Summer and Kyle had the worst one because, like, with the Hope and Liam situation, Hope had been like trying to fight these developing feelings she had for Thomas and all of that, and then she eventually gave in and didn't know Liam saw it. But with the Summer and Kyle situation, that was more like devious. Like you said, this girl was prepared to let this boy's mother rot in prison for killing, or excuse me, unaliving her mother when she knew she didn't. She was also, very devious throughout the whole time, and Kyle was feeling bad, and she wasn't really caring about his feelings at all. So I think the Summer and Kyle one was worse.
Yeah, that was bad. I mean, that dude was struggling, and she would sit up there and watch this man in so much pain, and wouldn't say nothing. So, and I know there's a lot of non-Diane fans like Jenna in the comments section. She probably like, I don't care. Because she is not a Diane fan, but that whole breakup was terrible. Yep. Okay, and let me see. Let me make sure I got everything. I can't work.
Honorable mention: the Nate and Elena one was bad too.
Yeah. Yep. I just want them kisses to come out from Steffi. You gonna sit up there and tell Hope she need to be honest. You need to be honest. She was like, you can't go around. You gotta be honest with, what you're feeling, and be real with yourself. Okay, you're gonna be real with Finn about them 2 kisses.
Yeah, I really love to hear like her. I just because she hasn't talked about it with anybody, so it's like, what in your mind, like, why did you feel the need to hide that? Like, I want to hear what they would have her reasoning being for that.
Yeah, why she hid the kisses? Shoot, because she probably know Finn would be mad.
Yeah, I was gonna say she probably keep the peace.
Keep the.
I'm kind of like,
I want to hear it from her. I want to hear like that. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to come out. Like, I want her to say why she felt the need to hide it instead of just being honest about what happened.
Exactly, especially since like she already put her husband through a paternity test issue. The last thing she needs is to have secrets with this man, or have
Mm-hmm.
secrets away from this man. It's I agree. Like this is very small in comparison to the stuff that she's already done to him.
Yeah, I mean, she did sleep with Liam before, which is the question of whether Hayes was Liam's or Finn's, But the thing is, he's doing a lot for Steffi. And for her not to just say, hey, Liam kissed me. I was unexpected in Rome. He came over here. He kissed me again. I told him he can't do that. She should be able to just say that. Now, I don't know if she want to
Right.
keep Finn from running over there punching him in the face, but we would like to see it.
I mean, yeah, I've been wanting to see a Finn Liam physical fight. Something.
I don't think that would be much of a fight. I think Leon would be taken care of fairly quickly. But we shouldn't really be surprised that she's keeping these kisses a secret, right? Because like you both brought up, when they had the affair, she was the one like taking charge, saying we can never talk about this, we can never tell. If y'all remember that, and then they both had the nerve to talk about how good it was and that they don't regret it, and they was just gonna keep the secret. So like, we really shouldn't be shocked that she's keeping these secrets over the kisses, I should say.
Well, I guess just compare to then, and then fast forward now, where you're in a different place with this man.
Yeah.
You would think that her mindset would change, and not like, I'm not going to compare how she felt about it back then to what happened now after they've been married for
yeah, the bond is deeper now. Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. I just wonder, are the writers ever going to bring that out, or are they just, is this just one of those things they're going to sweep under the rug, much like Brooke gaslighting Douglas when she saw her and Deacon kiss. Nobody ever really brings that up anymore. And that was, to me, that was a huge thing, because they always harped on how Thomas treated Douglas, and we see Brooke and Hope and Liam.
Yeah, asking the boy to keep a secret.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and that was never really thrown in their face. So I wonder if that's just going to be another thing like that, where it's just everybody just forgets that it happened.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree. I hope that they don't let that slide. I mean, it would. What was the purpose of all that happening? It was one thing that Hope kissed Thomas, and it led to that branch of a storyline. But we got this other branch where he's been trying to undermine Steffi and Finn's relationship. Was that just for the purposes of getting Jacqueline off screen to maternity leave so she can head off to Europe? Okay, she's back. What we gonna do with them kisses? Because I mean, you can't be running over here telling telling Hope to be honest, and you're not being honest. And I know I said that earlier, but she's all up in their business and talking about, and even when Hope said, well, I have feelings. Okay, well, I need to know more. What type of feelings? Girl, if you don't go sit down somewhere.
And the thing is, I don't think those kisses are going to come out. I feel the only way those kisses will come out is unless Liam said it happened. Otherwise, Steffi's going to keep that close to her chest, because this is where she plays into Brooke's playbook the best. Like, don't mention anything until it's brought up, and then when it is brought up, take no accountability for it. So,
well, that's the one thing that I will always give Stephanie, is she actually does take accountability. When she slept with Bill, she didn't let anybody. She didn't let anybody say, because everybody tried to say, well, he took advantage of you. You were in an emotional state, blah, blah, blah. And she was like, no, that's not what happened. That was,
she did only say that. Yeah.
I made the decision to do that. It wasn't Bill taking advantage. That was, I also did that. So as much dirt as Steffi does not put the blame on other people when she does stuff like that.
I mean, after the fact, because she was trying to keep that whole thing a secret. It was only until like Liam found out, like from the DNA test that she did with Bill.
Well,
She
yeah.
takes accountability until like the 11th hour. So she takes accountability, but it's like at the last minute. That's why I feel like she plays into a Brooks playbook the best, because it's exactly what Brooke would do, and that's why I feel these kisses will not come out. Like, even though we saw the rerun of the whole Italy thing, I'm surprised if they do, but it's only if it comes out of Liam's mouth. So
Yeah, I don't
because
expect Steffi to say anything.
yeah, she's
I'm
not going to
just
mess up her
curious
marriage.
if it goes.
Yeah, that is true, Keith. She
Now,
takes
what Brooke
accountability
won't do.
at the last second.
Yeah, I can totally admit that she has never like come out and said, "Look, sit down. We gotta talk about this. This happened." Like even with Finn, the only reason why they ended up saying anything was because she was pregnant. Otherwise, they would have tried to keep that to themselves. However, when Brooke, when stuff comes out for her, she still doesn't take accountability. She still blames it on other things and other people, and she was just following her heart. It was her destiny. She never fully, even when you have the proof in her face, says, "You know what? I messed up. I messed up. That was on me."
Yeah.
So that's why I say I don't agree that Steffi and Brooke are the same in that respect.
Interesting. Okay.
I
Wow.
feel like with those kisses, the longer it's the secret, the more likely it won't come out.
Yeah.
So that would be such an easy. Instead of Finn going this direction of bashing Thomas or whatever it is that he's getting ready to do with this whole Emma storyline, that's what they should have used, was the kisses. I don't understand why they have him involved in trying to make Thomas look bad.
Because it seems like they want this. They want, I don't want to call it a confrontation yet, because I don't know if it's ever going to become a confrontation with him and Thomas. But it seems like for whatever reason, they've been pushing this, been interested in or worrying about Thomas's situation. Like, he's been involving himself in it. If you do the kisses, then that would have nothing to do with Thomas. They seem to be set on having just some kind of weird kind of thing between him and Thomas lately.
Yeah, and I don't get that. I don't understand why they're putting Thomas and Finn of all people at odds. That makes no sense to me.
Yeah.
And I hate the way, I feel like for whatever reason this show digs deep into always having some type of issue between Steffi and Thomas. And it's like they're basically the only people that they have on screen. Yeah, Ridge is their dad, but I feel like he's barely a father to them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They always kind of portrayed Ridge as more, that he always leaned over with Brooke and the family that he has with her, and they kind of bonded over that fact that they always felt like, them and their mom was kind of like their own little kind of unit, because he was always over there with Brooke.
Yeah, so they won't give them Taylor. So like their mom isn't present. They don't have their aunts there. Their Uncle Thorne isn't there. They killed off a cousin. They shipped the other cousin back to Australia. Like, it's literally just Thomas and Stephanie. And for whatever reason, this show is insistent upon putting them at odds, and it's constant. It was the CPS call that had Steffi pissed off at him. Then the whole custody thing at first. Him and Steffi were kind of at odds with that.
Oh.
It's just like one thing after the other, and it's like I don't understand when you can have Thomas rivaling with Liam, and Steffi, she has her little thing with Hope. They both can't stand Brooke. Brooke's sisters can't stand either one of them. There's plenty of people on screen that they can go at it with. Why do you have those two always in some type of contentious situation together?
Yeah,
annoys me.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yep. So, All right. Well, we got to get ready for 2024. For some people on the East Coast, y'all got 45 minutes.
Yes, we do.
I know us, we got another hour and 45 minutes because I know Jay and myself, we're in the Midwest. And if you're on the West Coast, well, it's only 8:15 there, so.
Yeah, y'all got, yeah.
Right. So I just want to
And it's
get,
already 2024 in some countries, right?
yeah, UK, yeah, UK hit 2024 6 hours, almost 6 hours ago, so. Because they're 6 hours ahead of us, so it's probably about 4 a.m. there. Um. Anyway, I want to give mass appreciation to my mods, Jay and Bree, for everything you two have been doing this year. I know you guys kind of jumped in this year to help out as the community grew, and when we had these live chats and stuff like that, and I really appreciate it. The fill-ins for Keisha and of course Trish. So I appreciate you guys. Now, as for my sidekick, road dog, Keisha. Keish, can you believe we're about to hit 5 years, girl?
I can't. It's unreal. It doesn't even feel like it's been
It
5 years.
don't. I remember it was just you and me. We had a couple of people that listened to us, and then we started. We look at. It's been it's coming up on 5 years in 2024. I appreciate you so much. I know you had to take some time to go on deployment last year. Trish filled in like a champ. And I just want to give you guys your flowers and everything that y'all did this year, and I really appreciate it. And I know you had to pop in and out. You got stuff to do, but it's still cool. You one of the OGs, so.
I appreciate you too, and I've had so much fun doing this. It's having an outlet to talk about soaps is, I don't know, it's been kind of like therapeutic, I guess, for me. Because there's not many people that I know that still watch soaps, so I like being able to come in here and vent and rant and just have fun.
And the interesting thing, Keish, is that sometimes we have very different opinions. And we can go toe to toe and disagree on some things, but at the end of the day, we still come back and have our conversations and enjoy. Sometimes we text each other off of screens. We've even talked about other shows and stuff too over the years. So I appreciate you, and too bad Trisha in here. I got to give her kudos too. So I appreciate all of you guys because this is a lot of work. Yeah, thank you, Trish. Yeah, I probably still celebrating her birthday this weekend. Yeah, who knows? Trish got to get her drink on. So
Trish has a good time.
Yes, she does. Yes, she does. So I appreciate her as well. So hopefully we have a different year where we get some good storylines. The Emmy nomination should be coming out probably about March or April. Looking forward to that. They starting off Bold and Beautiful with a bang, so much so that I'm irritated with Finn this week. So, and then on Young and the Restless, with them trying to put Phyllis possibly with Tucker. Yeah, I'm interested in that.
For sure.
I want to see where that goes. I want to see Summer and Chance move into something. So, and hey, I don't know. Look like Lily is coming back to some mess because of that picture that that Lucy took. So it's about to be crazy. I'm glad that they kind of starting it off where it's getting us interested, and we ain't got to deal with Eric right now. So I guess because I don't know, because I'm hearing some whispers about the fact that they thinking that Eric might not be his old self, and that there's going to be an issue between him and Ridge because Ridge wants him to come back being Eric, and if he don't come back being 100%, that's where I'm like, please, I mean, can we've been dealing with this for the last almost 4 months. Can we not?
Yeah.
Can we move on to something else? In my
Just let that man come back as his old self, so we don't have to deal with no more storylines and drama with him.
Well, the thing is that Ridge is probably gonna start feeling bad, or maybe Eric is gonna now struggle with his mental health because he's not. He's still living, but he's not being productive like he was before he got sick. So I don't know if they're gonna do that. I've been hearing some things possibly about that, but I'm like, let's just stick with this Finn Thomas Hope proposal situation. So yeah. So we'll see. But I'm going to let you guys go. We've been on here for 3 hours and 21 minutes, but we had a ball. You know, this is our little version of Soap's New Year's Eve party, and I appreciate all of you guys. And I can't forget about the ones in the chat who keep coming back every week. I got to give you guys your flowers. I appreciate all of your comments, all of the back and forth, and coming back on Friday nights and having your say on the recaps and all of that stuff, because this is a lot of work between TikTok, Instagram, and X, and all of the other places that I post. But just the fact that you enjoy the content, I really appreciate it. So y'all got anything else before we close out 2023 soaps?
I'm just looking forward to 2024, and thank you for having us on. Of course, like especially for me to run my mouth, we have a platform for me to do it at. So thank you guys. I don't think I say this enough, but like really enjoy this platform and being a moderator because I'm a mom. I have a son who's autistic. So this kind of gives me that little bit of a break, a little bit of like a to myself to enjoy this and have fun with you guys. So thank you so much.
Alrighty, what you get? Who's next? Anybody else got something to say?
I just want to say I appreciate being a part of this. Finding you earlier this year, it was really cool finding a group of people, a community that likes talking soaps. It's been really fun, and hope we all have a great 2024.
Okay. All right. And you said your piece, right, Keisha? Did you have something?
Nope, I said my piece. I'm looking forward to 2024 as well. So
Okay.
Storylines, fingers crossed, all of that.
No deployments. You got any deployments coming up in the future?
No deployments.
Okay. Okay, cool.
Yay.
Yay, we got you around for a while. All right, you guys have a have a wonderful, safe. If you're going out tonight, be safe out there in those streets. Have a great time. Have fun. Happy New Year to everybody, and we will see you in the new year, which will be tomorrow. Bye, guys.
Happy New Year, everybody.
All right, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.